couple of the best players in the country perhaps you've not heard of on display here tonight. Jared Dillard, who leads the nation with 20 touchdown receptions. And for Troy, their quarterback Omar Hagabook, the newcomer of the year, the player of the year in the Sun Belt Conference. And welcome inside the Louisiana Superdome. Delighted to have you with us. Rice and Troy on the football field head-to-head for the first time ever, and it's hard to find two teams, two fan bases, cheerleading squads with people involved in the programs happier to be in a bowl game than these two schools. Let's check in down to the field. Here's Rob Stone.
Well, Sean, Joel Armstrong has done it all for Rice this season. He's caught some passes. He's blocked a punt. He even played some cornerback during practices, and here he is starting at quarterback in Rice's first bowl game since 1961, but he won't be behind center all game. The normal starter, as you mentioned, Chase Clement, he fractured his right collarbone November 18th. Last week he started throwing a Nerf football, people, a Nerf ball. On Monday, he was cleared to play. Yesterday, he was taking some first-team snaps. Sean, coach told me Clement will play tonight, and he's going to throw it extensively when they decide to slide him in, because this Rice team likes to chuck the ball.
Troy won the toss and deferred, so Rice, dressed in white, will receive the opening kickoff from Greg Wibbs, the junior from Pensacola. Then the R&L Carriers New Orleans Bowl is underway. Mike Falco on the return for Rice, and he's chopped down at the 15-yard line by Cortland Fuller. And a fired-up band of Trojans, just a 14-yard return for Falco.
Wouldn't be surprised, Sean, if you see Joe Armstrong throw a lot of short passes to get into some type of rhythm. And don't forget, they have a kid named Quentin Smith back there that's really come on as far as running the ball with some power and authority.
Armstrong, the quarterback for the injured Clement, junior from Longview, Texas, was their starting quarterback last year when they were a wishbone team, 1-10 in the final season under Ken Hatfield as he retired. He keeps on the first play and goes for 19. Let's meet the Rice offense, introduced by running back Quentin Smith.
The characteristics of the Rice football team are versatility and poise. One of the main targets we have is number 81, Jared Dillard, with great hands and 20 touchdown catches on the season. Moving on to number 50, Rolf Kruger, the madman up front with quick feet leading the way through the hole.
Quentin Smith, senior running back from Cedar Park, Texas, near Austin. He was a natural in front of our cameras yesterday. The pitch goes to Smith. He's in trouble behind the line and swarmed down back at the 14-yard line by Kenny Maynor. Let's meet the rest of the defense, introduced by Brandon Condren.
On defense, we are known for our team speed. Up front, number 74, Frank the Tank Lloyd, smashing through the double teams. At linebacker, number 26, Marcus Richardson, known for his instincts, fellow hometown boy. And back at safety, number 28, Brandon Condren, flying around head busting.
And proud of those guns as well, with plenty of art attached to them. Under the hard-hitting safety, he spends a lot of time up around the line of scrimmage. Armstrong's throw incomplete. Just beyond the first down marker intended for Taylor Wardlow. There is a flag in the offensive backfield for a hold that'll be turned down.
One of the biggest concerns Major Applewhite, the offensive coordinator for Rice, had coming into this game. I asked him characterize Troy's defense. Defense is built on speed, and that's shown early on. The second play, they tried to run the option. Troy too fast to get there, and right there they couldn't handle the speed of the pass rush of the Troy front four. Something they'll have to adjust to if they want to get in this ball game and get their offense in rhythm.
Otis McKelvin back deep for the punt from one of the best punters in the nation, the senior Jared Scruggs. He'll be heading to the Hula Bowl All-Star game after the season. Best career punting average in Rice history, 41.5 yards per punt, very high, and a fair catch made by Leotis McKelvin. Now Troy on offense. Here's the center, Zach Yenser, to introduce the group.
Crowd noise isn't a problem for our team. I know it's a little unusual, but I'm the one calling the snap count for the Sun Belt champions, Troy Trojans. I'm snapping the ball to my boy Omar back here, very athletic. can tuck the ball and run, or he can find his main man down the field, Gary Banks. Gary's very good at yards after catch. Takes a lot of people to take him down.
66 catches on the year for Banks. Kenny Cattouse, the lone back. They're a one-back set, a spread offense. They like to throw it around. They've mixed the run in more as the season's gone along. Kenny Cattouse tackled by Brian Raines, one of the linebackers in the 3-3-5 defensive alignment. That's a new look at Rice under first-year head coach Todd Graham, a former defensive coordinator at West Virginia and Tulsa, who brought that defense along with him. Pressure on the Hogebook. They get the screen off to Cattouse, and he's close to a first down into Rice territory at the 44-yard line. Now the defense introduced by Courtney Gordon.
I like being down in the trenches, putting in work with the 300-pounders and the rest of my D-line boys. Brian Raines always making me look good when I'm looking bad. One of the quickest linebackers in the conference. Watching over the whole defense, making sure we all do right. We got the old man, we call him Pops, Andre Downs.
They're just short of the first down. Andre Downs, outstanding defensive back. Matter of fact, their safeties, Downs and Chad Price. Downs tonight making his 41st straight start. Since the middle of his freshman year, he's been a starter. And Price right next to him making his 42nd straight start. They are 10th and 11th all-time in tackles at Rice. And we spoke with Andre yesterday. He said, we don't even talk to each other most of the time. We just look at each other and we know what the other one is thinking and is going to do.
It's a luxury that they had when they came to switch to the 3-3-5. Paul Randolph, when you have two safeties that can help line people up, it makes it easier to transition to a new scheme.
Third down and inches, and even with this down in distance, they go out of the shotgun. They're in the shotgun about 95% of the time. They're no huddle 99% of the time. Hogebook wants to throw it deep and has a man open, and it's too long. Intended for Andrew Davis, a true freshman who can fly. It's hard to throw it over his head. He runs just under a 4.40, with the ball a bit too long from Hogebook. And we'll see what Coach Larry Blakeney and the Troy Trojans decide to do now on fourth down and inches.
Yeah, I like the decision to go for it. Kenny Cattouse can go ahead and get you the tough yardage, plus Omar can run. Great call right there. They saw one-on-one coverage. Davis had him beat. The ball was just a little too long for the outstretch, but good recognition by Omar to go ahead and launch her deep. Take your shots down the field. Don't be shy.
Justin Bray comes in a running back. Hogebook, a rare turn under center. He pitched it to Bray, who has the first down. They're now 16 out of 24 on fourth down this year. They go for it a lot. And Brian Raines made the tackle. The folks from Troy, Alabama, happy about the result of that play. Troy, Alabama, a small town just south of Montgomery. It's about a 4.5 to 5 hour drive from the Louisiana Superdome.
Andrew Davis threw a key block right there. Now, if you're going to play in this offense as a receiver, you better be able to block downfield.
Hogebook wants to chuck it deep again. He's looking for Taurus Rutledge, and again a bit too far. Andrew Sandejo and Bensel Smith covering. Sandejo nearest Taurus Rutledge. Sandejo, a true freshman. The defensive coordinator Paul Randolph said he showed up this summer. He was one of our best players almost from day one, so we figured we just had to play him.
Well, he plays what they call the spur position, which is that hybrid between a safety and a linebacker in the 3-3-5. He's the guy that says 5. He's the number 5 guy in the 3-3-5.
Here's Zach Yenser. You heard when he was introducing the lineups. He does all the talking on the field on offense. We'll explain that as we go. Hogebook airing it out again, and it is caught but out of bounds. Brandon King had the coverage on Michael Terry, but Terry caught it across the boundary. It'll be third down and 10.
And Tony Perkins was telling us, he's the offensive coordinator for Troy. Tony Franklin was telling us, the offensive coordinator, for Troy, was telling us that if we can't beat man-to-man coverage, we're in trouble this game. And so far, they've been able to beat man-to-man coverage. It looked like to me that he had the left hoof in bounds.
Yeah, the Troy fans just saw the same replay you saw. It looked like Terry had his first foot in bounds. Larry Blakeney hates replay.
He'll like it in this case.
Yeah, he has not challenged a play all year. And I don't think he needed to challenge that because I think the replay booth stopped it. Big East officials working the game. Tom Tomchuk, the referee, over the headset, but it certainly looks like Terry's first foot is that left foot inbounds, and then the right. That should be a catch inside the 3-yard line.
It's one of the most difficult catches to make as a wide receiver over your shoulder like that, where you almost have to lean your whole body back, and to be able to do that.
But that's a catch.
Keep the ball one foot.
Possession. The left foot comes down in bounds. I think Larry might be more of a fan of replay after this call gets overturned.
You know, that's what I like, though, about Omar so far. Omar Hagebuck in this game is that he's not underthrowing the football, and it goes to the rule, if you're long, you're never wrong, where only his guy can get it, and it's just a matter of timing, Sean. They're going to keep chucking it deep because Rice's philosophy is we're going to get up and play a man, and right now, I don't think Rice can do that.
Video evidence. Play is ruled as a catch. The ball will be put at the 1.5-yard line. First down.
A 40-yard play, and Troy will have a first and goal from near the 2-yard line for Coach Larry Blakeney in his 16th season as head coach at Troy after 14 years as an assistant at Auburn, his alma mater. Now 59 years old, the winningest coach in school history, and he's been there for a remarkable ride. When he got there, they were in Division II. He took them first to Division I AA, and now in their 6th season in Division 1A. They have not had much luck scoring in the opening drive. They only score a field goal, and that was in a loss to Arkansas State. Their only loss in the last 7 games. Cattouse down inside the 1, tackled by a backup defensive lineman William Wood. The Rice players half-heartedly suggesting they came up with a fumble. The officials not swayed. Cattouse, the featured back in this one-back set, the all-time leading rusher in New Jersey high school history. More than 6,700 yards in high school at Keyport. Here he comes running right. He's chopped down for a loss. Great reaction by the veteran Andre Downs.
Well, you're right, Sean. Great reaction and a good read by Andre to snake through there, avoid the blockers, and cut down Cattouse in his tracks. Again, a good job of defense as far as playing assignment football. And Andre beating the block of Davis one-on-one and throwing his body in there. I'd like to see him wrap his arms, but job well done from your veteran.
Ball back at the 2, 3rd down and goal, and it's a touchdown for Omar Hagebuck. His 5th rushing touchdown of the season, and the Troy Trojans are first on the board.
Well, part of Omar's game, especially when he started to flourish toward the end of the year, was making a conscious decision to run, and Tony Franklin giving him the option to run right there. It's just a quarterback sweep. And he's following Big Kirby Bodiford, the best dynamic run blocker Troy has on their offensive line, to lead the way.
Greg Wibbs to attempt the extra point. He missed 3 out of 33 this year. That one right down the middle. Nine plays, 54 yards, 2.5 minutes for the Trojans to go on the board. Hagebuck from 2 yards out. This game is being broadcast in high definition on ESPN2 HD, presented by Pioneer Plasma Displays.
I'll tell you, you're Larry Blakeney, when you come out and start like that, you got to be happy with your team. I'm not just talking about the offensive start, going for it on 2 fourths down, but the defensive start, taking the fight to the Rice Owls.
He played the big pass to Terry that was overturned upon an official replay review. Greg Wibbs kicks off again for Troy. And Mike Falco will take a knee about 3 yards deep in the end zone. Rice will start again on offense from its own 20 without their starting quarterback, Chase Clement, the sophomore, who was 6-2 as a starting quarterback this season, an honorable mention Conference USA. Has an injured collarbone. It's possible he could play. They'd like to win the game without going to him tonight. Joel Armstrong at the controls for most of the season, a wide receiver. Out of the shotgun with 5 wide receivers spreading the formation. And the quick hitters intercepted. Boris Lee inside the 5, down to the goal line, and out of bounds inside the 1.
Well, 2 things here. Empty backs, the ball's going to come out quick. He's trying to get the ball to his number 3 or inside receiver. Boris Lee understands that. Sneaks out a little bit, just reads the eyes of quarterback. There's no look off, no anything. Watch Boris Lee will just step right in front of the pass. Here's Joel Armstrong looking right at his receiver, Boris Lee, saying that's an easy one. That's too easy. Chase Clement might be warming up on the sidelines.
3rd interception of the season for Boris Lee, a true freshman from Homerville, Georgia. 1st and goal at the 1, a chance to take a 2-touchdown lead now for Troy.
Now right here on Big 71, excellent run blocker, gets off the ball well. Corey Bodiford.
Ogabuk keeping and could not get around the corner. Ran into Brian Raines, the outstanding linebacker. 110 tackles coming into tonight's game to lead Rice. Matter of fact, that's the most tackles in a season by an Owl since 1995, when Larry Izzo, now with the New England Patriots as a special team standout, had 121.
Raines has stood out so far. Again, I like the way he uses his hands, doesn't give up 1-for-1, and has the speed to chase down Omar.
Ogabuk to the back of the end zone, dropped by Gary Banks. Their leading receiver, 1st team all Sun Belt. But they did not connect, and Banks was open along the end line.
Just running a skinny post right there. The ball's a little bit behind, but that's a catch he has to make. And see him point. He's going to point up to the sky because he's telling his Omar Ogabuk to throw the ball up. Let me use my leaping ability to go get it.
Yeah.
Got to catch that one.
Yeah, you still need to catch that. 3rd down and goal. That's into the end zone again, and this time Banks has it for a touchdown.
It's a well-executed play right there. They'll send Davis out on a little loop route to draw the safety and open up the middle field. Watch here. He's going to come here. That'll open up the middle of the field. He's not taking away inside. He has no chance. No chance at all. And Omar throws it low and inside, where Gary can make the catch for 6. Davis clears out that middle. It's open season.
Now Greg Wibbs try the extra point. It's 14-0. The interception by Lee sets up the touchdown reception by Gary Banks, the 25-year-old former minor league baseball player, congratulated by the offensive coordinator Tony Franklin on the sideline. Troy considered a slight underdog in this game tonight, leading 14-0 very quickly, just more than 5 minutes gone by. Didn't look like they'd be in a bowl game the way the season began for the Co-Sun Belt champs. They started 1-4, won their opener against Alabama State, then lost 4 road games to Florida State, Georgia Tech, Nebraska, and UAB. They come here having won 6 of the last 7, including a come-from-behind win against Middle Tennessee to earn a share of the conference championship with the Blue Raiders. Went on the road to win their last 2 at Middle Tennessee and at Florida International to share the Sun Belt title at 6-1 with Middle Tennessee State. Larry Blakeney's team got the bid to this bowl, which features the Sun Belt champs, by virtue of the head-to-head win over Middle Tennessee. Sun Belt champs are 1-4 all time in this game. Quentin Smith returns the kickoff and slips down shy of the 25-yard line. The only Sun Belt champ to win in this game was North Texas in 2002. They beat Cincinnati.
Well, if I'm Todd Graham and Major Applewhite, what do I need to do? Well, I need to get number 81 involved some way, somehow. Guy with 20 touchdowns and 82 receptions on a year, Jared Dillard. He's my offense. Let me get him the ball.
Major Applewhite, the offensive coordinator for the Rice Owls. A totally revamped offense, a wishbone team for many years under Ken Hatfield. Now a spread offense with a lot of different facets. Quinn Smith nearly collided with Armstrong. Armstrong kept it and goes down for a loss of a yard. Covered by Boris Lee, whose interception set up the Troy touchdown a moment ago. Major Applewhite there on the right. The youngest coordinator in Division 1A football this year, 27 years old. It seems just yesterday he was the starting quarterback at the University of Texas and setting career passing marks for the Longhorns. A graduate assistant at Texas, 1 year as the quarterback's coach last year at Syracuse, and now a coordinator. And what a terrific job he has done. Armstrong throws short, caught by the true freshman Corbin Smiter for a gain of 6. Marcus Richardson made the tackle. Rice will go quickly without a huddle. Third down, and about 7 for a first down. Armstrong out of the gun again as a man wide open. It's the freshman Smiter who almost took off. Looked like he lost the ball after he hit the ground, and they are ruling him down back at the 48-yard line.
We talk about the recognition of Omar Hagenbuch on the man-to-man coverage. Well, here's good recognition by Joe Armstrong, hitting Smiter right there, beating Ryan Babb in man-to-man coverage. If they can get that matchup, they'll take that all day long.
Ball clearly came out after he was down. Ryan Babb made the tackle. 20-yard gain for Smiter. A quick hitter to Jared Dillard. Been hard to throw to him. Marcus Richardson responded quickly. When we spoke with Jared Dillard yesterday, he said typically what has happened this season in the first half, you'll see a lot of double coverage and coverage tilted in his direction. He said after we establish the other receivers and we start making big plays with the other guys, the coverage tends to loosen up on me. We'll see if that happens tonight. Loss of about a half yard on the play on the connection with Dillard, just a sophomore from San Antonio. Mike Falco across the 50 to the 48, and here's Rob Stone.
Well, you guys said during their last drive, hey, maybe this is time for Chase Clement to start warming up. Well, he's got the head on backwards, helmet nowhere in sight, doesn't even have a headset on, and he has thrown nothing since this game kicked off, so he is nowhere near being loose right now.
There's a long way to go, a little early perhaps to push the panic button and put him in the ball game. They think Armstrong is capable. He's done most of the work in practice preparing for this game.
They've done a lot of short passing games with Joe Armstrong just to get his rhythm and timing down, give him some confidence. Let it rip.
Now he's throwing one deep and looking for Dillard, and he has it. Took it away from Leotis McKelvin. And Chris, you talked about at the top of the telecast the comparison Coach Graham made to Larry Fitzgerald because of Dillard's great ability to go in the air and get the ball when it looks like he has no chance, and no better example of that other than this play.
Well, I don't know what to tell Leotis because he does a great job, but you see the strength of Dillard as far as a receiver, and remember he has a 46-inch vertical to go up and get it like he did. Great
hitter to Dillard again. He's chopped down behind the line of scrimmage back at the 13 by Elbert Mack, cornerback. Dillard's a little guy. I mean, they list him at 5'11", 175. He says that's accurate. He's not like some of the smaller players who try to claim they're bigger than what they're listed. But if he's 5'11", 175, he is barely so. Coach Graham says he has a 46-inch vertical leap. It says 43 in the write-ups about the team. But Coach Graham's one of those guys who might take a little latitude from time to time. Harmlessly so. Armstrong keeps. And he's tackled by the freshman Boris Lee at the 11-yard line. It'll be third down. They need to get near the 1 for a first down.
Well, again, with Armstrong in the ball game, and also with Clement when he's in there, they do have the ability to run the option. It's a nice open field tackle by Boris Lee, who's made a lot of nice plays from his middle linebacker for a true freshman, reading this offense and making things happen.
And Smith, and running back to the right of Armstrong. Third down and 10 from the 11. Rice on the move, trailing 14-0. Armstrong flushed. Now gets rid of it to the corner of the end zone, and it is caught for a touchdown by Mike Falco.
A huge drive by Rice. Why? Because they did it mostly through the air with Joel Armstrong, who started out slow. This is a great throw. Buy time with his feet, throwing it outside, and Falco showing great field presence, being able to drag not 1 foot, but 2 feet the corner of the end zone.
Well, the officials are going to review this one apparently too. Falco saying, why? I caught it. Falco, a senior from Scottsdale, Arizona. Saw Todd Graham looking up at the scoreboard trying to figure out if this call is going to stand.
We'll have to take a look and see his feet, if his feet were up. And watch right here. There's the ball. It's a well-thrown ball. Nice and outside where only he can get it. Looks like from that replay that the left foot is down, and his left foot caught the pylon, and the pylon is part of the field.
Yep, his toes were dragging on the ground.
Again, there's the left foot right there.
Yep, got the ball. His toes were dragging along the ground.
After review, the play stands as called on the field. Touchdown.
Good job by the boys in the booth. Outstanding, making sure they get it right. 2 close calls, and both of them correctly called and verified.
First touchdown receiving of the season for Falco, a senior leader. Play running back and wide receiver. Came down to Rice or Boise State out of Scottsdale, Arizona. He chose Rice in part because they were coming off an 8-4 season. The extra point by Clark Pangmeyer up and good. So Rice is on the board. It's been an entertaining first quarter here in New Orleans. And the scene outside the Superdome pregame. Downtown New Orleans and the French Quarter coming back. A lot of the French Quarter not seriously damaged by Hurricane Katrina. And just 5-minute drive from here, still total devastation in parts of this city. These two teams both took devastation tours of New Orleans and were shocked by what they saw 15 and 16 months later, and so little done to help so many people who need it so much. Luke Juiced with a very short kickoff down to the 11 of Leotis McKelvin. A very dangerous return man, and he battles his way out to the 34-yard line, tackled by Brandon King. Here's a look at the tour buses both teams made the bus ride through the lower 9th ward, and as you can see out those windows, friends, and Rob Stone and I took this tour today, it is absolutely staggering. The pictures do not give you the magnitude of the devastation. It stretches for mile after mile after mile. So much money, Chris, earmarked for this city. So many people around the country have raised money and sent it here, and yet outside of the blocks of downtown, you see very little evidence of much getting done, and it's very sad and very frustrating.
Well, you just saw the faces of the kids, and when we sat down and talked with them yesterday, how much they were affected and how they want to do something. And that's part of rebuilding is getting this game back in the dome after it was being played in Lafayette, and R&L carriers getting involved to keep it alive and give these kids an opportunity to come down here and be a part of it.
Hoggabook's first down pass was deflected by Courtney Gordon, an outstanding defensive lineman. 2nd and 10. You'll see this a lot. Troy with this no-huddle offense. A lot of times they'll get over the ball quickly and then back away. Sometimes they'll go quickly and snap it. Hoggabook going deep again. Incomplete for Gary Banks. Lance Bird had the coverage. It is unique the way Troy gets the plays in and Hoggabook's role on the field. They have several people on the sideline signaling in the plays.
Got a guy with numbers back here. These guys are doing certain signals, and only one of them's hot.
All the players are looking to the active signaler, and then Zach Yenser makes all the calls. He's adjusting the protections, calling out assignments, and handling the snap count. Hogebook, the quarterback, doesn't say a word. When have you ever seen that before in football? He's just waiting for the ball to be snapped.
Tough to shut a quarterback up. That's one way to do it.
That and an analyst. Pass deflected. It looked like the arm of Hogebook was hit, and his pass fell well short of Michael Terry. It was Courtney Gordon in the backfield again. So 3 and out for Troy, as Jason Wright will come on the punt.
Courtney Gordon, this is his last game as a Rice Owl. He really was fired up about playing this game and did a nice job with a speed rush, knocking Omar off balance to deliver the duck.
Brandon King back for the punt from Wright. Spent 4 years in the program as a backup punter, 2 years as the holder, finally as a fifth-year senior from Dothan, Alabama, very near the Troy campus. He got the chance to be the starting punter. He's had an excellent year. Short kick under pressure here, and the fair catch made by King at the 30, the 36-yard punt. So Rice back on offense. Garrett Dillard and the Owls looking to tie up the game. In downtown New Orleans, it's the R&L Carriers New Orleans Bowl, back in the Superdome after 1 year in Lafayette, Louisiana, as our college football bowl road trip continues. Tomorrow from New Orleans, not all that far away, to Birmingham, Alabama, and the PapaJohns.com Bowl, South Florida and East Carolina. Skip Holtz's Pirates, then at 4 Eastern on ESPN. Bowl breakdown special, followed by the New Mexico Bowl. The New Mexico Aggies against resurgent San Jose State. What a great job Dick Tomey's done there. Games are also available on ESPN2 HD, ESPN HD, and ESPN Radio. And friends and colleagues from the ESPN Radio here tonight, starting their bowl coverage. Joel Armstrong completed his last 7 passes on their scoring drive in their last possessions. They went 76 yards in 9 plays. Running the option and in trouble, and dropped for a loss of a yard back at the 29 by Frank the Tank. Big Franklin Lloyd, not as big as he used to be. Used to be about 320, cut out the fast food. Now he's a svelte, according to Franklin, as we visited with him yesterday. 283 pounds.
Yeah, and it does. He gets off the ball in a hurry. Right there, he created penetration, didn't stand up, block, worked down the line of scrimmage, and made a good open field tackle. But again, his ability to get off the ball first, knocking the offensive lineman into the backfield, allowed him to become a free runner.
Franklin, second team all Sun Belt from Lynette, Alabama, near Auburn. Grew up a big Auburn Tiger fan and still is. Tommy Henderson the catch. Out to the 35. Boris Lee made the tackle. How about the fun these Troy defenders have with each other? Yesterday we were visited with Franklin Lloyd, Marcus Richardson, Brandon Condren.
Can't have thin skin if you're in that locker room.
Yeah, the other two fellas, other than Lloyd, said every time we make a play, Lloyd takes credit. So it's always because of the work I did up on the front line, and you guys can run around and make plays while I tied up all the linemen.
Well, he's about right on that. I used to tell my defensive linemen, you look good, I look good. You look bad, I look real bad. That's some great ones.
On third down, Armstrong throws. There's a flag down. The catch made by Quentin Smith out of the backfield. Out to the 46, but a flag thrown back behind the line of scrimmage. 12-yard gain if it stands. Tavares Williams and Ryan Babb made the tackle. But it's coming back on a holding penalty against Rice.
Again, that's one of the adjustments that the Rice offense had to make.
Holding, number 50 on the offense. 10-yard penalty from the previous spot. We play third down.
Was going from a power option type offense where they're run blocking all the time and adjusting into becoming good pass blockers in this spread offense. And Todd Graham hired Todd Dilbeck, first-year offensive line coach, former head high school coach last year, has done a great job helping these guys make that transition to be balanced blockers, both good run and pass.
Rolf Kruger, the tackle called for the hold. Now third down and 15 back at the 25-yard line. Armstrong trying to set up a screen. A lot of work for Quentin Smith to do. He got 6, but nowhere near enough. Leotis McKelvin chopped him down. Marcus Pittman also in on the stop.
They tried to run the check down versus cover 2. The only problem is nobody was getting out of there because the field wasn't being stretched. Plus Armstrong has to hold the ball a little bit longer to allow the defensive backs and the linebackers to get some depth if you want to work the check down. Troy defense can really run.
Jared Scruggs punting to Leotis McKelvin. High and wobbly and short. Takes a good bounce for the Owls. Landed at the 40, rolled about 7 yards. Here's Rob Stone.
Hey, Sean, how many times you got a cell phone call, right, and you look at the number and go, I don't know where's this coming from, I don't know who it is, and you hand it off to somebody else and say, hey, you answer it. Well, that's kind of how Omar Hogebook was recruited here at Troy. His offensive coordinator, Tony Franklin, gave him a call. He looked at the phone, didn't recognize it, handed it off to his buddy Ransford Jones. Yes, Ransford Jones getting some love here on ESPN2. Coach started giving him the sales pitch. Ransford said, Coach, hold on, I got to give it back to Omar. So Coach started up again and said, Omar, you want to pass for 4,000 yards? We're your school. You can play close to home. Mom can see you every time. Reason number 812, I love caller ID.
Movement before the snap.
False start. Number 4 in the offense.
Taurus Rutledge.
5-yard penalty. Remains first down.
The Omar Hogebook was in junior college at Dodge City in Kansas last year, an excellent program. He had taken a visit to Marshall, looked like he was going to go to Marshall, and Tony Franklin was hired in the offseason by Troy. Brought his wide open pass attack. Tony said, I need a quarterback to play my system. Here's Kenny Cattouse. He identified Hogebook, started the recruiting process. And when he called Omar, was back home in South Florida. Omar didn't recognize the numbers, Rob said, so he handed the phone to his buddy Ransford Jones. And Tony Franklin introduced himself and said, well, tell your friend if he wants to throw for 4,000 yards, win a lot of games, come to us. Don't go to Marshall. Tony knew Marshall had other good quarterbacks who would like to play ahead of Hogebook. Hogebook keeps and fights for the first down to the 44-yard line. Hogebook wound up taking a visit. Like Troy, said he felt a little guilty, again, that phone thing. When he was at Troy on the visit, he was getting text messages from the Marshall coaches.
Well, it's tough. It's tough to commit to somebody, but realize the situation at Troy was maybe better for him. Turned out to be the best phone call he never took, because it's all worked out, coming in and being Sun Belt Conference Player of the Year. Pretty good decision.
Didn't quite throw for those 3,000 to 4,000 yards. Threw for 2,184.
Recruiting talk, though. You should have said 5,000.
He's trying to throw a long one here in the direction of Terry. It is caught by Michael Terry. No signal yet. Brandon King had the coverage. It is a touchdown for the Troy Trojans.
And what they're trying to do, Sean, the excitement. There's not enough bowl games, in my opinion. Rice is trying to play man-to-man, and athletically they can't hang with Troy. Because every time they see any type of bump coverage or press coverage, it's over. They're thrown deep. It's a great throw again. I love the touch that Hogebook puts on the ball right in the arms of the breadbasket of Terry. You got to get out of that man, boys. It'll be a long night.
56-yard touchdown. Should point out Rice playing without Ja'Cory Shepard, a starting cornerback, suspended for a violation of team rules. Did not even make the bowl trip here to New Orleans. He's their best cover corner and not here tonight. Terry with the big play. They're going to review it, see if he went out of bounds short of the goal line or was down short of the goal line. That looks like a touchdown.
That's 6 points. And again, a great shot by our fine camera people. Oh, he's in. I tell you, he deserves it after that catch he made to set up the first touchdown, to come back and give him some love. And just the touch on, he just drops it right in there. Just like
Ball on the field. Touchdown.
drop it right
stands
in
the sophomore Terry with his 5th touchdown reception of the year. Todd Graham can't believe the way this one has started. Defense has given up 20 and soon to be 21 points if Wibbs can kick the point here in the first quarter. Greg Wibbs with the PAT, 21-7 Troy.
To me, the job that Eric Mangini has done with the Jets, and you look at their roster and say, well, they're rebuilding, they just can't do it, they can't do it, and here they are in the middle of the playoff hunt. Outstanding job by Eric and his staff. Michael Terry right there. Rice knew that he was their biggest deep threat. I mean, they told us over the phone, Chris, he's the biggest deep threat. Well, they've done nothing to control the biggest deep threat.
Todd Graham, you mentioned the job Eric Mangini's done with the Jets. What a job he's done. 1-10 last year. A lot of people told him, don't take that Rice job. It's the place you can't win. He came in, won 7 games his first year. Co-coach of the year in Conference USA with Art Briles of Houston. They won 10 games this year. Rice finished just behind Houston in the West Division of Conference USA. Wibbs kickoff, not returned by Quentin Smith. That brings us to the end of a wide open first quarter. Troy and Rice meeting for the first time ever in football. The Trojans lead 21-7 after 15 minutes. Downtown New Orleans and the R&L Carriers New Orleans Bowl, first year of a 3-year sponsorship agreement for R&L Carriers based out of Ohio. On first down, Quentin Smith, and a flag thrown right where he was tackled, perhaps for a face mask. Franklin Lloyd in on the stop with Tavares Williams.
And again, Frank the Tank with his penetration and quickness is able to make a play. See your target though. Stay off the mask.
Against Troy.
Personal foul, face mask, 74 in the defense, 15-yard penalty, first down.
These are two teams not heavily penalized. Larry Blakeney says I preach turnovers, get them on defense, don't commit them on offense. Penalties, let's avoid them. And the kicking game. And that's been a nice formula for Coach Blakeney. In 16 years, 127 wins. He's one of the stalwarts now in Division 1A football. Only Joe Paterno, Bobby Bowden, and Frank Beamer have been at their current programs longer than Blakeney has been in Troy, Alabama. Jared Dillard the catch, short gain on the play. Let's get to know Jared a bit better.
I'm 5'11", but when I hit the football field before every game, I'm 11'5". Take the football field like that. When I'm on the field, I'm the biggest man out there. When it comes down to the end of the games, I want the ball. Don't want to be a ball hog, but I think all champions want the ball when it comes to the close situations.
He does play 11'5" with that 43 or 46-inch vertical, depending on who you believe. 9 completions in a row for Armstrong. Hands it off to Smith. Tough run across midfield to the 47 of Troy and a first down. Tackled by Tavares Williams, a 14-yard rumble by the 5th-year senior.
That's a guy they have to get involved in their offense, and really kind of started out slow. He was challenged by the coaching staff at halftime of the Central Florida game. Runs with some authority. Right there, he answered the challenge. He hit it up in there nicely and ran with authority.
Armstrong backs up into the shotgun. Like Troy, they do some work at signaling from the sideline after most of the players are over the ball. Armstrong wants to throw a deep one, and it is incomplete. Looking again for Dillard. Leotis McKelvin had the coverage. Dillard wasn't lying about he wants the ball at crunch time either. 3 of the 6 straight wins Rice had to close out the regular season were decided on the final offensive play for Rice, and Dillard was involved in all 3. Had a game-winning catch against UAB with 3 seconds to go. Had a game-winning catch in double overtime to beat Tulsa, and set up their game-winning field goal at East Carolina with 51 yards of receptions on their final drive.
Got a star, let the stars shine. Throw it up there and let him go get it that time. Kelvin did a nice job, more patient before he went up for the ball. Blocked Dillard out.
Quick throw this time by Armstrong. It's Corbin Snyder who gets upended by McKelvin at the 40, but still a quality gain for Rice, nearly 8. And will give them a manageable 3rd down.
Quality gain and a quality tackle by McKelvin, taking the bigger Snyder, picking him up on the shoulder. That's a 1-step and wrap, 2 steps and squeeze. Lifting the man and slamming.
3rd down, a little under 3 to go for a 1st down for Rice. Early 2nd quarter, Troy leads 21-7. Troy came into this game having scored 23 points in the 1st quarter all year. Spread out over 12 regular season games. Falco with the run after the catch has the 1st down. Banged out of bounds by Brandon Condren, the 5th-year senior from Pensacola, Florida. 7 yards, 1st down.
Well, if you want to be in this offense, you give an assist to Jared Dillard right there. Did a good job. Not a devastating block, but enough of a push on Albert Mack to allow Falco to get the corner and get the 1st down.
Give Armstrong credit for most of this year, a wide receiver. Spent some time in practice as a defensive back. Joel Armstrong, the starting quarterback, has blocked a punt this year for Rice. With the injury to Clement Backett, quarterback, and playing very well here in the 1st half. Trying to escape the rush. And throws it away. Pursued by Boris Lee, the linebacker, came on a blitz.
There's a situation where he had Dillard open in the end zone, or one-on-one at least, with Leotis McKelvin, and didn't quite trust it enough because Leotis had good coverage last time to throw that ball up for grabs and trust that Dillard is going to use that great vertical and now jump Leotis. But I'll tell you, McKelvin has answered the call tonight. He's been on good coverage, and he comes up and he's a physical corner.
2nd and 10. Quinn Smith, the lone running back to the left of Armstrong. He might be changing the play after conferring with the sideline. Snyder again, and he gets walloped again. Leotis McKelvin there. Brandon Condren. Well, he said when he introduced the defense, he was coming to wallop some people, and he has.
He hit him low, and Leotis came high. Take a look. This is good recognition. He had a zone blitz on. He goes to the weakness of the zone blitz right away. You see Brandon coming low. Leotis coming high.
Condren from Pensacola, Florida, about 2.5 hours from Troy. He was a cornerback in high school. The pass batted down and nearly intercepted. Cameron Sheffield, a backup defensive lineman, true freshman from Portal, Georgia, had his hands on the ball, couldn't corral it. 4th and 4. See what Todd Graham does, down by 14 points. In field goal range. From here would be about a 43-yarder, and the field goal unit will come on. They have 2 field goal kickers. Clark Fangmeyer attempts the shorter kicks. Coach Graham told us yesterday 42-43, about the longest that he'll try. Then they go to Luke Juiced. So this is about as long a field goal as they feel comfortable having Fangmeyer, the true freshman walk-on from Houston, try. And it just did have enough. The coach knows what his kicker can do.
That's it, 43 yards. He got it up. I don't know if he hit it solid, but it was enough to get over and get him some points.
It's a career-long field goal for Fangmeyer, now 8 out of 11 for the season. Wasn't pretty, but effective. Fans from both programs enjoying this trip to New Orleans. Troy leading 21-10. We're early in the 2nd quarter, and both quarterbacks are already over 100 yards passing.
Armstrong, of course, had the interception picked off by true freshman Boris Lee from Troy that led to Troy's 2nd touchdown. Now, I want to see Rice. They have to make some kind of adjustment, because if they keep playing man-to-man, it's bombs away, baby. Onside.
Luke Juice, the onside kick. Rice had a great shot at it and couldn't corral it. Brandon King looked to be in a great spot. The cornerback in Mossport, Mississippi, couldn't get it.
Watch right here. They do a great job of executing, taking out the potential receiver. And Terrence Morse does a great job where Brandon King comes up. Look at that. That's great coaching right there. Understanding not to go for the ball, and all Brandon King has to do is secure it, and it's first down.
Yeah, it was coming at him pretty quickly. Moore was taken out by Bensel Smith. But King couldn't corral it. So Coach Graham into the bag of tricks. It doesn't pay off. An excellent field position for Troy at the 49-yard line of Rice. Omar Hagabook. They snap it to Justin Bray. He's going to throw it back to Hagabook. Great catch over the shoulder. And how about the run after the catch for a first down? Down near the 38-yard line. That play looked like it was a disaster waiting to happen. Hagabook rescued it with a great over-the-shoulder catch from Bray. And then the nifty run after the catch.
It's a nice job by Brian Raines running. He'll run something down. But the strength of Hagabook, we looked at him yesterday, Sean. He looks like a linebacker. Powerfully built upper and lower body, and showed what he can do with his feet.
6'2", 220. Here's Hagabook. Inside handoff to Kenny Cattouse. Driven back by Brian Raines, among others, at the 34-yard line.
Nice job by Hagabook adjusting onto that football, too. That was a decent pass by Justin Bray, but Hagabook showing, hey, if I can catch it, all my receivers ought to be able to make that kind of catch. And so far they have for him tonight.
Hagabook chose Troy in part because his family could drive from South Florida. It's an 8-hour drive to the Troy home games. His pass dropped by Taurus Rutledge. His family made the home games all year, and they've made about a 15-hour drive here to New Orleans to watch Omar. How about Rice? One of the smallest schools in major college athletics, under 3,000 undergraduates. And yet they sold all 6,800 of their tickets. They only have 40,000 living alumni worldwide.
Well, it's just a testament to what Coach Graham has done and sell some excitement into the football. They were showing press man-to-man coverage. And right here, if they stay in it, that ball's going deep, I promise you.
Hagabook steps up, has a lot of room to run, and he can run. Look at him go inside the 15, chased out of bounds by Andrew Sandejo. The Troy coaches told us they were led to believe by the junior college coaches at Dodge City that Omar ran about a 4.6 40, but he's done a lot of work in the program at Troy with their strength and conditioning people, and he's now closer to 4.4 in the 40 at 220.
And it shows right there. And anytime you play man coverage and there's an opening like that, he's taught to tuck it and run because all the defenders' backs are turned. They don't even know he's running. Speed like that. Big play.
He rushed for over 100 yards in their last game at Florida International, which they needed to win to get to the New Orleans Bowl. He runs powerfully again inside the 5. Banged down by Terrence Garment, a true freshman linebacker from Tyler, Texas, a gain of 8.
Again, this is what Rice is doing. They're continually trying to play man-to-man. And if it's not throwing the ball deep, you have a power back. No, that's right. I said it right. The power back, quarterback, Omar Hagabook, not looking to slide. He's looking to knock people over.
Now Cattouse dropped for a loss. Chad Price, the veteran safety, making his 42nd straight start. Senior from Bay City, Texas. Honorable mention All-Conference USA this season. Made the play. So it'll be 3rd down. Lost back to the 7. 3rd down and 5. 3 receivers bunched tightly near the boundary on the right. Hagabook looked in that direction, now throws into the end zone, and it is caught by Andrew Davis. Touchdown, Troy.
Celebrate, Omar. Celebrate your toughness. What a job of hanging in there to the very last second, knowing you're going to get whacked. To deliver the ball with a courageous throw in traffic, only where your guy can catch it. Andrew Davis running along the back side of the end zone, making a great catch. But toughness, hanging in there, and delivering a strong throw, knowing you're going to take the shot. Omar.
touchdown pass of the half. The extra point up and good from Wibbs. The Troy Trojans, still 9:41 remaining till halftime, have 28 points on the board. Out of that unique formation, Davis, the touchdown reception. Sun Belt champ has won only one of the previous 5 New Orleans Bowls. Touchdown by Andrew Davis has the Troy Trojans champions of the Sun Belt, leading Rice 28-10. Still a long way to go till halftime. Sean McDonough with Chris Spielman and Rob Stone. Greg Wibbs kicks off. Down to Mike Falco at the 6. Picking his way across the 30 to the 31-yard line. 25-yard return. Troy Trojans from Troy, Alabama, a town of about 13,000, 48 miles south of Montgomery. Total enrollment is 28,000, but on the main campus in Troy, about 5,700 students. They have campuses throughout Alabama and around the world, many on military installations. They have programs. They have a relationship with China. They have sent a lot of students from China to Troy to study. They were Troy State until 2 years ago, dropped the state because they really have expanded their horizons well beyond Alabama. They have a 1-2-1 program of Chinese students. Joel Armstrong runs and has a first down. Students study in China in a Troy program for a year, then come to Troy for 2 years, and then go back to China for their final year of study. It's really a very interesting university under Chancellor Dr. Jack Hawkins Jr.
Yeah, it is, and just the ability to develop these players not only as athletes but as students is remarkable, and to bring China into it is an experience like none other.
He believes the exposure from having a big-time football program is a part of the development of the university. Their university has grown really as the football program has moved from AAA to Division II to 1AA and now Division 1A for the last 6 years. Armstrong's pass too hot to handle for Mike Falco. It'll be second down and 10.
I like the decision making of Joel Armstrong right there. He's just got to be a little bit more patient. He recognizes his own blitz. He goes to the backside of the pressure where it's open. He's just got to deliver the ball. Start throwing a little bit too much juice on there. Take a little off. Make a catchable pass for your guy. Sean, you and I were talking, and I look for Rice to start getting a running game involved in their offense a little bit, just off balance.
They have an excellent back in Clinton Smith, but they've leaned heavily on the pass, and Brandon Lang has a sack of Joel Armstrong. First sack of the night for the Troy Trojans. Lang, who committed out of high school to the University of Georgia, was a very highly recruited player, had academic difficulty, went to prep school, basically was out of competitive football for about 2 years, but has battled back in the classroom to earn an opportunity to play here tonight.
Brandon Lang right there was chop blocked, but he never lost his feet, used his hands, popped up, stayed on the play, and made the play.
Now third down and 16. Troy coming on a blitz, but there's a whistle and flags before the snap.
Prior to snap, false start. Number 50 on the offense. 5-yard penalty from the previous spot. Still third down.
Time now for our Aflac trivia question. We want to know which former Rice head coach has a trophy named after him. And third down and long, a little dump off for Quentin Smith to the 40, and that's all well shy of the first down by about 13 yards. 8-yard pickup. Tavares Williams made the tackle. Help from Steve McClendon.
This is where your stud punter has to give your defense a chance. They've been on the field a lot. The offense basically gets a 3 and out. You need to put yourself up in good field position to give your defense some confidence when they take the field.
Jared Scruggs' punt handled by Leotis McKelvin. And he's taken down at the 33-yard line by Courtney Gordon, starting defensive lineman down there in punt coverage. 37-yard punt and a 9-yard return. Troy leading 28-10, about to go back on offense as the Rice offense gathers on the sideline. Pose the Aflac trivia question: which Rice head coach has a trophy named after him? And the answer is John Heisman.
Wow.
Rice's first full-time head coach back in the mid-1920s. 14-18-3 was his record as the Rice coach. Most of their successes in football came in the 40s and 50s under Jess Neely. Coached them for nearly 3 decades. Kenny Cattouse banged out of bounds by Bensel Smith. Flag down on the play.
I think I'm going to get a holding call on the left defensive end, which allowed them to run the hump.
Holding, 71 offense, 10-yard penalty for the previous spot. We play first down.
Will be Bodiford, the excellent tackle, second team all Sun Belt this season. Moved from guard to tackle in this new offense this season. You asked him about it yesterday. He said the biggest difference this year was they made the transition from a power high football team to the spread offense. We need to be able to run. Those linemen are running all over the place on these bubble screens.
They all had to drop weight. Jack Yenser, too, dropped about 15 pounds.
He said Coach Franklin told him the new offense would be fun, and it has been fun for the Troy Trojans. East on the reception for Troy. And Marlowe chopped down at the 25-yard line by Terrence Garman.
It's interesting. Troy's kind of, they nick at you, then they'll take their shots downfield as soon as they see any type of man coverage.
Hogebook dumped it off to Cattouse, and Garman managed to get him across the boundary, short of the first down marker. Gain of 11 on the play. And it'll be third down from the 37, third down and 6. Here's Rob Stone.
Well, guys, that's Chad Price, starting bandit for Rice. Dual calf problems, cramps. He's had ice bags rubbed down on both sides of cramps. He's walking like I wake up and your first feet hit the floor and you can barely walk. That's him going into the locker room right now.
Third down and 6. A lot of Owls up along the line defensively.
Going deep, Sean.
Hogebook under pressure, throws. It's caught. The throwback might have cost them the first down. Gary Banks the catch. Tackled quickly by Lance Bird. Banks trying to circle back to get away from Bird. Might have lost the first down yardage. He's about a yard shy.
He's coming back to the football. First of all, Troy's offensive line's doing a great job. If you're going to play man pressure like Rice trying to do, and you can't get any pressure on the quarterback, it's going to come back to haunt you. They've got to be able to create some type of pressure. They can't let Omar Hogebook sit back there and just pick him apart, because he'll do it. He's proven he's that accurate.
Brandon King back for the punt from Jason Wright. Wright spent the summer as an intern in the Troy Media Relations Department. He'll graduate with a degree in journalism. He's going to return to the Sports Information office this spring as the primary contact for the baseball program. Very good baseball program. Timeout Rice. They have trouble getting ready for the punt. Fans of the Troy Trojans having a great time in New Orleans. Sun Belt co-champs leading Rice 28-10. After a Rice timeout, Jason Wright will punt. With one punt blocked all year. That was in the regular season finale at Florida International, when one of the 3 men in that shield had shoulder pad problems, came out of the game. His backup went in and whiffed on a block. Good punt by Wright. King taken down almost immediately at the 18-yard line. Good coverage by Henry Chubb. I don't know about you, Chris, but I'm surprised. I thought this would be a very competitive game, and it might be, but I think the extent to which Troy has opened up the lead has surprised most folks.
Well, I think the speed of Troy is what surprised Rice. And anytime Rice is trying to play any type of man coverage, Omar sits back there and throws deep to his wide receivers, and they're all beating man coverage. Now, Rice can pick it up and mix it up a little bit with some zone, and they've got to create pressure on the quarterback. If they don't, it's going to be a long night for the Owl defense.
Joel Armstrong handed it off inside to Quentin Smith. He's a 1,000-yard rusher this season, rushed for 1,092 to earn second-team All-Conference USA honors. It's the first season in the history of the Rice football program where they had a 1,000-yard passer, rusher, and receiver in Clement, Smith, and Dillard. And an offense basically put together piece by piece by Todd Graham and Major Applewhite.
Well, Todd knows what he likes, and he told Major come in, and Major's requirement was that he can use his terminology, so everybody can be on the same page, so he can teach it.
Dillard tackled immediately by Leotis McKelvin. Todd Graham said that's one of the reasons he hired Major Applewhite, because he wanted somebody who didn't really have a preconceived notion, wasn't wed to a particular style of offense. Todd Graham wanted to play an offense similar to what they run at West Virginia, where he once coached under Rich Rodriguez. He and Major Applewhite sat down, put elements of that in, but also parts of what Major was comfortable with from his past. A lot of the quarterback runs from University of Texas that Vince Young used, some of the West Coast offense that Major coached at Syracuse for 1 year, and some of the option and wishbone game they had run at Rice in the past. Boris Lee deflected the pass, intended for Jared Dillard, and Rice will have to punt again with 3.5 to go till halftime.
I've been impressed with middle linebacker Boris Lee as a true freshman. Usually those guys are pretty stout against the run, but it takes some time to get a feel for the throwing game. And right there, Boris Lee, again, reading the eyes of Armstrong and getting his hands up to help on Dillard, knocking the slant pass down. Another 3 and out created by Jeremy Rowell's defense.
Jared Scruggs the punt, fair catch by Leotis McKelvin at the 43. Let's get a halftime preview. Here's Reese Davis.
All right, Sean, coming up at halftime, bowl season, we'll find out which conference will shine. We'll also give you the latest on the Duke lacrosse case and the legal maneuverings there. And Allen Iverson suiting up for the Denver Nuggets finally. He was not in the starting lineup. Presumably that had nothing to do with George Karl's desire not to run up the score. See you at halftime, Sean.
Oh, no matter what the sport or topic, Reese always quick with a pertinent quip. Troy looking for more before the half. Excellent field position from their own 43. Kenny Cattouse slammed on the line for a yard or two. George Chukwu and Terrence Garman on the tackle. Big George Chukwu, Jr. from Houston, Texas, a 300-pounder. Honorable mention All-Conference USA this year. He had a big sack late in the game in their last game against SMU as they clinched the bowl bid.
And that defensive line, one of the biggest adjustments they had to make was going from a 4-man front to a 3-man front. A lot of two-gapping in there for the big fellas.
Audubon with a lot of time on 2nd and 8, and he's on target for a first down. Ball comes out after, and now they say it's an incomplete pass. Smokey Hampton, the intended receiver, senior from Tallahassee, who was questionable tonight due to injury.
Again, you see where Omar has the ability to strike, and that's a great job of Marcus Ruckus coming in, slapping that ball out. And you might wonder, that could be revealable if he had possession of that football. But they blew it dead and incomplete, so it's non-revealable.
Hampton shoulder injury in the regular season finale. Weren't sure he'd play. Might be in there in part because Gary Banks, their leading receiver, limped off after their last possession.
They called timeout. The clock was running down.
Timeout. Troy.
Now that's where
first timeout.
Omar has to be the one to speak up because he's responsible for the play clock. Obviously, even though Zach Yenser gives the snap count, he can't see the shot clock or the play clock. So Omar has to be the one to call the recognition of the play clock and call timeout so they don't get a penalty.
It doesn't happen very often, but they are in danger of a delay of game penalty. Here's Rob Stone.
Well, guys, Troy doing this without wide receiver Gary Banks. Banks had their second touchdown to put them up 14-0, and he was sent into the locker room to evaluate his ankle. He had rolled it. They sent him into the locker room. He's come back out. They retaped it. They thought he wasn't going to be able to come out at all. They were telling me he was going to be a second half play at best, but here he is trotting on back out and going to try and get his tail back in there.
He's a 25-year-old junior out of high school in Melvin, Alabama. He was drafted in the 5th round by the Chicago Cubs as an outfielder. Spent 3 years in rookie ball and A-ball in Mesa, Arizona, Boise, Idaho. Struggled, typically hit about 240 each year. They tried to make him into a switch hitter. That didn't work. He came to the realization he wasn't going to be a Major League Baseball player. So at age 22 came to college. He had originally committed to UAB out of high school. Thought about going there. He was a quarterback. They had Darrell Hackney for a couple more years, an outstanding quarterback. So he started looking around, got in contact with Troy, came to Troy as a quarterback and made the quick conversion to wide receiver, and has been one of the best wide receivers in the history of their program. Very impressive young man, 25 years old now, married. His high school sweetheart Chandra. They're expecting a baby girl in March. Devoutly Christian young man. Hoggebuk finally sacked back at the 35-yard line. First sack of the night for Rice from Bio Benibo.
Bio Benibo, also a running back. They want to create speed as far as getting the pass rush, and that paid off right there. Benibo comes off the corner on the X stunt or switch game. Hits it inside, doesn't quit on the rush. Omar holds the ball. Benibo finishes. Helps the team any way he can.
Yeah, he's a special team standout. He stays on the field for special team. Running back, defensive end, and an excellent student, 3.51 in political science. He's on the ESPN magazine All-Academic District Squad. A lot of excellent students on this Rice team, rated among the top 20 universities in the country. Rice punt down at the 25-yard line. Saturday night, the Bowl road trip continues on ESPN. Two high-powered offenses take the field. Tulsa takes on Utah. The Bell Helicopter Armed Forces Bowl, formerly the Fort Worth Bowl. It's on ESPN 8 Eastern Time, also available on ESPN HD and ESPN Radio. The Utes playing in a school record 4th consecutive bowl game. On 1st and 10, Armstrong dumped it short for Quentin Smith. Time a factor now, and approaching a minute left in the half. They're at their own 29-yard line after a gain of 5. Rice and Troy here in the R&L Carriers New Orleans Bowl. Hard to find a matchup. The two shorter names of the schools that didn't involve abbreviations. I'm fascinated by.
I think we set the record.
You're our expert on 4-letter words, but Rice and Troy. 4 letters. Flags fly. My goodness, flags everywhere. Even some batons thrown in the line of sight as we look down at Jared Dillard being covered by Leotis McKelvin.
That's going to be interference, and Leotis really didn't need to interfere. He had such great position on Dillard, but he got a little sloppy. All he has to do is trust his training. Keep your hands off of him.
Pass interference. 34 defense. 15 yards from the previous spot. First down.
You see right here, Leotis is in good position. He didn't have to run and bump him. All you have to do is look and lean into him and keep your hands down. Great position. Just a silly mistake. Sometimes it's hard to pull those hands down when you see number 81 running at you. But he's done a great job covering so far tonight, being in great position to make plays.
5 catches for 45 yards for Dillard. First wide receiver or end to be an All-American at Rice since Buddy Dial back in 1958. Blitz. Armstrong has to get rid of it. He was pursued by Boris Lee. Rice in its first bowl game since 1961 when they played in the Bluebonnet Bowl in its early stages. That's right in the city of Houston. Only one member of their traveling party, player coach. Obviously no players were alive for Rice the last time the school was in a bowl. And only one coach, the offensive line coach, Todd Dilbeck, was 10 months old. The last time Rice played in the bowl game, that's it. Armstrong out of bounds, short of the first down, into Troy territory at the 49. 7-yard run, chased out by Marcus Richardson with 27 seconds to go in the half and 2 timeouts left for each.
Good job by Armstrong scrambling out of bounds, lived to fight another down. And remember, that's Fangmeyer's distance is about 43 yards. They would like him to have the ability to kick it. So they need to get the ball further down the field, obviously, with 27 to go.
Just has a stronger leg. His career long is 53. They pick up the first down to the 44-yard line. Ryan Babb, the hard hit on Mike Falco. 5-yard gain and a timeout now called by Todd Graham. 42-year-old head coach, Texas native. Said he had to change the culture. There's only one person left in the football program from when he got the job in January. He interviewed for the job 1 year ago today. Got the job on January 2nd. Changed everything. The uniforms, the locker rooms, the field, the scoreboard. Kept one secretary, Joyce Reynolds. He said she's awesome and she reminded me of my mother, so I couldn't get rid of her. But everybody else he just felt needed to go. Not necessarily commentary on each individual, but he wanted to change the entire culture. He put the word champions all over their locker rooms and meeting rooms, and here they are in a bowl game in their first year.
Well, yeah, he had to change the culture not only amongst the players, but he wanted people to be excited about Rice football again, and what a testimony it is to the job he's done to excite not only the student body but the Rice fan base. Well, they sold all their tickets that were available to them for the R&L Carriers New Orleans Bowl.
Rice, as we mentioned, a small school that total enrollment includes graduate students, 2,900 and change undergraduates. Haven't been a bowl since 61, haven't won one since 54. Started the year 0-4. And then lost a player tragically. Dale Lloyd died the day after they went to 0-4. He died in a Sunday workout, a light workout, with a heart problem. Movement along the offensive line. And it's interesting, when they were 0-4, that's when a lot of the players we spoke with yesterday, Chris, said that's when they really started to believe.
False start. 73 offense.
In the program.
Remains first down.
Todd Graham, when they got back from Florida State, said, okay, we played a ridiculously hard schedule. Houston, UCLA, Texas, and Florida State. All our goals are still in front of us. First and foremost, the conference championship. He said, I'm so relieved I had that team meeting, because we pulled together that night, and the very next day we had to deal with the death of the freshman defensive back Dale Lloyd. Much loved young man who made a very quick positive impact with the way he played and carried himself in their program. And they're dedicating their efforts this year to him, and they've done so nobly. Armstrong with a great effort, but he cannot escape. Cameron Sheffield and Franklin Lloyd combined to finally get him down. Sean Todd also there. 3-yard loss, timeout Rice. They're out of timeouts with 9 seconds to go.
How proud are you? How strong are you? How imposing can you be? The best way to prove yourself is to play in a game like this. USC, Michigan. In the granddaddy of them all, the Rose Bowl game, presented by Citi, New Year's Day.
It's going to be a great game. You and I will be there doing it for ESPN Radio. and the matchup is nice. I'm looking forward to the speed of that SC offense against the speed of Ron English and that Michigan defense. It's going to be a great football game that we'll be privy to calling on ESPN Radio.
ESPN Radio has the majority of the 32 bowl games this year, including tonight's. Our pals Dave Rebson and Jerry DiNardo, Todd McShay in the booth. There they are. Dave Rebson in the middle. There's Coach DiNardo on the right. Todd McShay in between. Ivan Sokolsky on the left. In the front row there with the headset on. Their fine producer.
I guess they don't have to dress for radio, huh?
No. Wow. And now we'll have to buy dinner when we're in Pasadena after we gave him a little love on national TV. They put a couple seconds back on the clock. 11 seconds to go. No timeouts for Rice. The deep ball by Armstrong. Looking for that great leaping ability from Dillard. He was double covered and couldn't come away with it.
They had Albert Mack on the outside. Tavares Williams coming from the inside safety position. And I know Jared Dillard can get up in the air, but Tavares Williams got up just at the same height of Dillard, was able to disrupt the catch. Now you throw one in the end zone, throw it to Dillard again.
Lawrence Williams from Gainesville, Florida, has a 3-year-old son. He was very excited his son was going to be able to be here to see the bowl game tonight. Flag down as Armstrong runs away nearly at the line of scrimmage when he lofts one deep. It is caught. Will it stand? Dillard the catch. Slips down, but he's okay. But that flag was thrown. We would expect a holding call, and that's what it is.
Well, it's unbelievable that Rice didn't block anybody, and to me that's a mental error because you don't have a jailbreak like that unless it's a screen. And it was just a race back to Armstrong, who did a great job of avoiding a rush, and Troy got away with one back there, a mental error in the back end.
Holding, 72 offense. The period will be extended for one untimed down. Third down.
Robbie Hios. Major Aboyd says he's been their best lineman this year, but called for a costly hold to junior from Pearland, Texas.
Yeah, he's getting held right here, and you can see the jailbreak. Yeah. They got on a me game. He's got to let it go. Trust Joel Armstrong to find a way to get it done, and he points Dillard where to go and delivers a strike. A big play taken away. 2 opportunities, one on the onside kick that they had recovered, Sean, and that play, 2 huge plays that they weren't able to capitalize on.
Armstrong showed an excellent arm strength on that deep ball, but it's negated. Now an untimed play to end the half. Armstrong threw it from his own 29, and it is intercepted. Brandon Condren with the pick. His second of the season. And that ends the half. Jared Dillard held in check. He had 5 catches, but for only 45 yards. And he and the Owls in a big hole. Here's Rob Stone.
Well, Coach, how do you counter Troy's deep passing attack?
Well, I mean, we just come out not ready to play and give up, a couple of big plays, and we got to settle down. We settled down and started playing a little bit of defense, and you got to stop them. We didn't stop them at all, and probably made a bad call on the onside. We knew it was there, and ball hits our hands and bounce out of bounds. But we've been behind before, and every game we've won, so we're going to go in and regroup and come out for these seniors and find a way to win.
What thoughts have you given to bringing in your normal starting quarterback, Chase Clement?
He's just not ready. He wants to play. He's been cleared, but he's got a broken collarbone, and we just don't feel like he can protect himself. So we just don't right now. We don't feel good about that.
Coach, appreciate your time. Thank you.
They've had a lot of second half dramatics this season, perhaps more tonight, but they trail 28-10 at the half. Here's Reese Davis. The college football halftime. The college football bowl road trip continues. Second half of the Arnell Carriers New Orleans Bowl about to begin in the Louisiana Superdome. Troy leading Rice 28-10. Sean McDonough with Chris Spielman will be rejoined in a moment by Rob Stone. A lot of stars on both sides. Some of the best players in their respective conferences. Some of the best players in the country. And it was Omar Hagebrook who was shining most brightly in that first half.
I didn't know what to expect. I saw him on film. He's good, but I didn't think he was this good. He starts out fast right here with a run, using his feet and his power at 220 pounds. He can do it. Then he throws a nice slant route to Banks, throwing it low and inside where only Banks can get it. Then, of course, the touch on the deep ball to Terry. Again, there's not a throw that Omar hasn't made tonight. And there you see him hanging in there tough and hitting Andrew Davis along the back line of the end zone.
Threw for 132 and 3 touchdowns, ran for 26. He's also their leading rusher on 6 carries. Armstrong actually threw for more yards with the 2 interceptions. Hurt. There's Rob Stone.
Well, guys, I literally just spoke with Omar Hoggabook. Coach told me, I said, hey, what'd you tell Omar in the locker room? He just smiled and he said, I couldn't talk to him. He was busy getting an IV. 2 IVs in the locker room for the quarterback for Troy. One of the main focuses in the locker room was defensively, was on guess who? Jarrett Dillard. Hey, guys, look, you know he's going to get it. Be prepared. They've been doubling, as you've seen through the first half. They're going to continue that. His main theme to his guys was, hey, guys, everybody who plays college football in America right now wants to be in your shoes playing a bowl game on a national stage 30 minutes away from a bowl win.
That IV situation could be serious for Hoggabook. He's had problems during the year with cramps. Has had to come out of some ball games. Said he changed the way he prepared from a diet liquid intake standpoint 4 games to prevent that from happening. But it is very warm in the building tonight and very humid. Albert Mack returns the kickoff from Luke Juiced out near the 35-yard line, a 22-yard return. And Hoggabook has moved the ball around.
Well, the thing is, John, he had 2 drops that would have added about 40 yards to his percentage. He should be 10 for 16 for 172 yards. Now he's 8 for 16 for 132 yards, but he's on time, he's on target. He looks like a veteran. This is his first year at Division I football, but I can see what Tony Franklin loved in him when he got him out of Dodge City. Just his awareness and his presence to do it with his arm and his legs. Outstanding.
The offensive coordinator Franklin said he's a warrior and a leader. And his pass was a little bit behind Justin Bray.
Well, that's not Justin Bray right there. Rice is sitting in a zone coverage. Justin Bray cannot run into the zone. Omar was trying to throw him open when he threw the ball behind him a little bit. Justin's got to sit it down in between the 2 defenders in that short zone area, not bring it across the field.
Bray's still learning offense. He moves over from defense at mid-season. He's a newcomer on this side of the ball. Kenny Cattouse dragged down by Andrew Sendejo. Cattouse averaging 70 yards per game rushing. Held in check so far tonight. 8 carries now for 15 yards.
And this is where Omar hurt Rice in the first half. Anytime they were in man, he took off and ran it for the first down. Looks like they're in the 2-man right here.
They're down in 9, 1 minute into the second half. Hoggabook again doesn't have much to do. Because all the players have to look over for the play, they'll continue to repeat the signals over and over and over again in case somebody missed it. They all got the message that time, and it's Smokey Hampton on a big play. On 3rd down and 9, they convert with plenty of room to spare. 27 yards to the 37-yard line of Rice. And Hampton, who, as we mentioned in the first half, has been battling a shoulder injury, slow to get up.
Well, Smokey does a good job of running a 7 route or a corner route, and he's matched up with Brian Raines. And Omar just waited for Smokey to go ahead and beat the linebacker on a deep route, and it's just pitch and catch. And here you come, Andre Downs hitting Smokey where he landed right on that shoulder. Andre Downs was helping him deep, but Andre was helping deep inside. Brian Raines got turned around. He's got to play the outside in that coverage. And Omar saw the matchup, recognized that wide receiver on linebacker, I'm throwing it to Smokey.
Hampton, 25 years old, married with a young son from Tallahassee. Grew up a big Florida State fan. Used to go to games at Doak Campbell Stadium. Wasn't recruited by the Seminoles. Went to junior college at Garden City. And then good to see him up and running off.
He wanted to play bad. It's his senior year. Wanted to make an impact. He dropped the ball earlier in the first half, about a 20-yarder he dropped. But right there, he makes a great catch and runs a nice route, exploiting the man-to-man on the linebacker.
Yeah, one of the biggest catches of the season in their win at Middle Tennessee State. A touchdown catch with just more than 2 minutes to go to get them within 6 points. They recovered the onside kick and scored again in the final seconds to post a dramatic victory over the Blue Raiders and earn ultimately a share of the Sun Belt Championship with Middle Tennessee. Hoggabook on a design run to the 29-yard line. He got 7 before Terrence Garman got him on the field turf.
Well, he gave Terrence Garman a little shake and bake, and Terrence had him in his sights for a 2-yard gain. And Omar was given a shake and bake, gave him a leg and took it away and got 7.
Hoggabook with that little stretch at the end of the run, too. Still concerned about the possibility of the recurring cramps that have plagued him earlier in the season. Design run again. This time Rice not fooled. Back to the line, and that's it. Brian Raines made the tackle. Defensive coordinator Paul Randolph said Raines plays with his hair on fire. Relentless pursuit of the ball all over the field.
Well, he is a good football player, and right there he's more in his comfort zone, defending the run, and Omar was shooken on that play. Brian came up high and hit him high like you're supposed to, leading with his face. Shook him up a little bit.
Raines just a sophomore from Missouri City, Texas. 3rd down and 3. Hoggabook going toward the end zone, looking for Hampton. Battle for the ball. It is intercepted by Lance Bird.
And that's how you play 2 deep coverage. It's almost a bracket coverage, knowing that you have your help outside. They try to run the corner route. Lance Bird, not to be fooled, in great position. And I love the transition from defensive back to wide receiver, where he goes up and catches the ball.
Bird starting tonight because of the suspension of Ja'Cory Shepard. And the senior from Madisonville, Texas, has his first interception of the year. Rice fans trying to get their team fired up. The Owls down by 18 as they get the ball for the first time here in the second half. First bowl game since 1961 for Rice. Looking for their 7th win in a row. 6 wins to end the regular season. Their longest winning streak within a season since 1949.
Go, baby, go.
Armstrong tackled in the open field. Nice tackle by a great tackler, Brandon Condren, the safety from Pensacola.
You're right, Sean. It is a good open field tackle. Joe Armstrong's not easy to bring down, and Brandon's got to do a job not only in this game, but he has the opportunity to go over to Hawaii and play in the Hula Bowl to make something happen and catch notice of the next level guy's eyes.
Just with the size, the speed, certainly the toughness. That's the future at the next level. Troy sent a couple of pretty good players to the NFL on defense in recent years. DeMarcus Ware, first-round choice to the Cowboys. And O.C. Umenyiora with the Giants. Taylor Wardlow, the tight end, with the catch right down the middle of the field. Armstrong on target. 29 yards, reason to celebrate for the Owls. Wardlow, his 10th catch of the year. He's a wide receiver who they just turned into a tight end. He's only 205 pounds.
Yeah, if he's going to play Tampa 2, your middle linebacker's got to run through the hole. If he doesn't run through the hole, that's what happens. You exploit it. Good job by Joel Armstrong recognizing that. And Wardlow splitting the safeties, beating Boris Lee.
Wardlow, a freshman from Grapevine, Texas. Throw to the far sideline, intended for Corbin Smiter, another freshman, and it's incomplete.
Let me show you what this Tampa 2 is, Sean. Tampa 2 is having 2 safeties deep, and it depends on the middle linebacker running deep, taking the middle of the field. Watch Boris Lee. His head will turn around, and he'll look for the ball as Wardlow just runs past him. And a good job of dropping the ball over the linebacker in between the safeties by Joel Armstrong. Bad execution of Tampa 2 right there, Boris. First mistake he's made in pass coverage, by the way, tonight.
I think Wardlow has a bright future when he fills out. Smith, Chance Talbot was their starting tight end from the program. Jared Dillard, the intended receiver. Albert Mack had good coverage. Done a good job on Dillard. He was one of the 3 finalists for the Bolitnikoff Award. Best receiver in the country. Calvin Johnson of Georgia Tech won it. Jeff Samardzija of Notre Dame, the other finalist. When we spoke with the Troy defenders, they played against Georgia Tech this year. They said Dillard did remind them in some ways of Calvin Johnson, just not quite as big as Calvin.
Well, he does have the ability to go up and catch the ball and does a good job of snatching it with his hands.
3rd down 10. The fake to nobody in particular by Armstrong. Quentin Smith, good work after the catch to get the first down. Inside the 35, Brandon Condren the tackle, and Smith gave him a bit of a shot on the ground and is lucky he didn't get flagged.
Right there, Quentin Smith, being a senior, making something happen for his teammates, denying the ability for people to tackle him, knowing that keeping the chains moving is important for this Rice on this drive.
Smith, the second all-time leading rusher in the history of the Rice program, behind only Trevor Cobb, former Doak Walker Award winner back in the early 90s. Armstrong takes off running. Ooh, what a block by Falco. He laid out Morris Lee.
I've been on those, on the bad end of those. Those receivers try to get a little revenge on you as a linebacker. Watch Falco come in and helping his buddy. Whap! Ooh, ooh, I'll define that as the depleter. Ooh. Go Falco. Take a number, Boris. 22.
8 of 4, 2nd and 6. Rice on the move. Leading the score to try to get back into this one. Down by 18 points. Just more than 10 minutes left in the third quarter. When these two teams play each other, and this is the first time ever with these offenses, the new speed-up rules don't make much difference. The game's going to take a while in these spread offenses. Quentin Smith dropped for a loss by Kenny Maynor, the sophomore defensive end from Brunswick, Georgia. Help from Marcus Richardson.
Yeah, play set up by Ryan Babb. I mean, Joe Armstrong's coming down on a speed option, and he's not even optioning, but he's going to the pitch too quick, and Ryan Babb is in the backfield running to the pitch, taking away the quarterback and the pitch by his angle. Speed on this Troy defense, evident.
Rice the big edge and time of possession, but Troy's made the big plays. Neither team's been able to rush the football tonight. Over the middle and caught for a first down. Falco had the big block a moment ago. Now a big catch. Brandon Condren another tackle. But another conversion by Rice on a 13-yard gain.
That's a delayed blitz by Tavares Williams, which vacates the middle of the field. A good job by Rice of picking it up, and Falco finding the hole and in between the linebacker and free safety Condren.
Falco was third on their team in all-purpose yards this season, despite missing 5 games due to injury. Running back and wide receiver, and a favorite target of all of their quarterbacks. Swing pass to Tommy Henderson, and he's chopped down to the 19. Major Applewhite calls Tommy Mr. Dependable. Never busts an assignment. He said, when I first saw him, I said, you have to be kidding me. He's a Division 1A football player? You bet he is. He does everything well.
There's Major calling the shots. It's his show.
10th play of the drive. Nice mix in the play calling by Major Applewhite. And you want to go at a speedier pace, you have to have terminology that's comfortable for you. That's one of the reasons why Major Applewhite said he needed to be his terminology, but it wasn't entirely his offense. Quentin Smith, a hard run. And Major Applewhite told us a story too, Chris, about Quentin Smith. Mid-season, Coach Graham a little frustrated with him. After a ball game, he said, you know, you need to make it hard for people to tackle you. He said, you're not hard to tackle. And Major Applewhite said Smith's a little sensitive. He took it to heart, started running through people, delivering blows after running through the line rather than just going down with relative ease.
Yeah, he's decided to turn into a hitter rather than being a hit-E all the time. He's running hard tonight.
First and goal. Armstrong throws, incomplete. To the far sideline. It'll be second and goal.
We were talking off the air, Sean, how vital it was for Rice to get off to some type of quick start. They did defensively. Now their offense has answered the challenge thus far. Now they've got to be able to finish. And this team, believe me, is built on perseverance and coming through tough times. Being 1-4 at one time, got to get it in here to make it a game.
Quentin Smith back into the game. The last pass attempted to C.J. Uguquai, who's his stand-in. He goes out after that play. Armstrong throwing the fade is intercepted. Intended for Torrin Dixon. Albert Mack picked it off. First of the season for the junior from Wichita, Kansas. And the third interception thrown by Joel Armstrong tonight. That one is a killer in the red zone.
Yeah, it's a throw behind. The only problem is Torrin Dixon didn't get the throw behind. Albert Mack got the throw behind. If you're going to throw it, Torrin's got to come back and get position on the ball. If you're going to throw it deep, throw it to the back pylon. Albert says, give me that. That's mine.
Middle of the third quarter, Troy goes on offense after the interception. How about this formation?
Yeah, they have their two starting guards, Gardner and Jamison, out there with their wide receivers. Logic tells you it's going to be a screen, or could they be trying to fool him? He's loving it. Well, Gardner's out there saying, look at me. I'm a wide receiver, Mom. Take a picture.
And it's Kenny Catus. Boy, after all that, running back up the middle. Just expecting a little more.
Well, that's it. I mean, that's the logic or theory of it, to spread them out and try to fool them. And I'm sure they do have some type of screen off of that. What a job he's done, too, Yenser. Just being able to manage the game. And you don't say that often about a center, but manage the game with the snap count, calling all the protections.
The senior from Marietta, Georgia. Transferred from East Tennessee State, a 1AA program. Another big block. Gary Banks this time.
He's down.
Yeah, laid out one of the Owls. I believe it's Terrence Garman. Well, turnabout fair play, I guess. Falco delivered the big block on Lee when Rice had the ball. And now it's Banks putting the big lick on Garman.
Yeah, right here again. Ooh. That's just that you can't defend yourself, and that's part of football. And you got to learn, if you're man-to-man coverage and that receiver's running downfield, that you better get your head on a swivel, because you'll pay if you don't.
It looked like Banks' helmet got Garman right up around the chin. Garman, a true freshman, has had an excellent year. Became a starter near the end of the year on the Conference USA All-Freshman squad. Had big interceptions in each of the last two games of the regular season for Rice. Back at the R&L Carriers New Orleans Bowl, Terrence Garman went off field under his own power, still being tended to on the sideline.
Tyler, Texas. That's a home of the Tyler Rose, is it not? Earl Campbell.
Anthony Jones now in a running back. Hogebook faked it to him. Omar Hogebook out to midfield. Brian Raines swung him down just across midfield to the 49. That's a 19-yard run for the junior from Belglade, Florida.
That's how the spread offense is. It's really a two-back offense, and that's his zone option. And Omar, you can see his ability to cut. Not a straight line runner and a power runner, plus he has the ability to make people miss.
So Garman heading toward the locker room. Hogebook throwing it toward the end zone. Brandon King had good coverage with Chad Price on Gary Banks.
Trying to reward Gary Banks from his block on Garman, sending Garman into the locker room. It's the irony of that. Their wide receiver hit their true freshman middle linebacker. Falco hit Lee, and Garman got smoked by Banks.
Trying to set up a screen, and is dumped off to Zach Markham, his first catch of the night. Just his fourth of the year, the sophomore, the true freshman from London, Kentucky. Tackled by Marcus Ruckus.
That double screen right there, and Rice played both screens well. It was dealer's choice for Omar. Marcus Ruckus fighting through the defender and finishing with a good hit. Their boys are starting to turn it up a little bit.
Ruckus made a successful move this year from running back to linebacker. As honorable mention, All-Conference USA at his new position. Third down and 9 for the Troy Trojans. Play clock almost expired. Hogebook takes off as a first down to the 37-yard line. Ruckus again credited with a tackle. Saturday, 2 bowl games on ESPN2 and ESPN1 Eastern Time, ESPN2. The Bowl road trip continues as we travel from New Orleans to Alabama and the PapaJohns.com Bowl. South Florida against Skip Holtz's East Carolina Pirates. Cattouse tackled by George Chukwu. That's in 1 Eastern on ESPN2, the PapaJohns.com Bowl. And at 4 Eastern time on ESPN and ESPN HD, the New Mexico Bowl, as the Lobos take on San Jose State. It's its inaugural season, the New Mexico Bowl. San Jose State's first bowl game since 1990. Hoggabook to the end zone, incomplete. Bombs away tonight for the Troy Trojans. That one intended for Michael Terry.
Well, yeah, they can do it with a number of receivers. Michael Terry's their biggest threat. That time, Andre Downs does a good job of not biting up on anything in front of him, recognizing Terry coming over the top, taking it away by position. But how frustrating it is for Rice defense. You have a 3rd and 9, and Hoggabook just recognizes it, turns and runs for the first down. It's killer on the defense.
Now 3rd and 8, under 5 minutes to go, 3rd quarter. Troy leads 28-10. They had a 21-point first quarter. 2 points fewer than they had scored in the first quarter all season long. And Troy calls a timeout. We'll return to the R+L Carriers New Orleans Bowl on ESPN2 right after this.
I'm a big outdoorsman. I love to hunt and fish. This past spring I caught a 9-pounder, which was 24 inches. I can't wait to get it mounted. Family's #1 to me because my mom and dad, they let me make my own decision. They support everything that I do. I played minor league baseball, you know, met a lot of great guys. It was a great experience. I came back to college football and I'm loving every minute of it.
And part of his contract with the Chicago Cubs was that they would pay if he decided to go to college, so his education being paid for by Major League Baseball and the Chicago Cubs. 3 years a minor leaguer with the Cubs, gave up baseball and came back to play college football as a 22-year-old, now 25. 3rd down and 8.
It's like a freebie, too, for an extra scholarship.
Yeah, doesn't count against their scholarship limit, the 85-year line in 1A. Hoggabook keeps and converts again on a 3rd down run. Converted a 3rd and 9 a moment ago with his legs, and now a 3rd down and 8 converted. Vernon James, who's in for the injured Terrence Garman, made the tackle, but it's 18 yards on the run for Hoggabook.
Marcus Ruckus is chasing Ghost. He has contained on that play. He fell for the Ghost, and Cattouse running on a fake, and Omar just tucks it and beats him around the corner on the loss of contain.
Hoggabook, 91 yards rushing now. Hesitated a moment, took off, and adds a couple to that total. To the 15-yard line, here's Rob Stone.
Well, Sean, you just mentioned Terrence Garman not available. He is on his way to the hospital right now. That hit struck him in the chest. They are sending him to the hospital to x-ray that chest and the sternum area.
That's a vicious blow right there, and a completely legal blow. But anytime you have those chest shots, you got to get that taken care of.
Cattouse tackled by Brian Raines, about a yard shy of the first down. Kenny Cattouse from New Jersey, as we mentioned earlier, the all-time leading rusher in the history of high school football in that state, Chris. And you think of some of the great running backs who played high school football in New Jersey: Franco Harris, Lydell Mitchell, Ron Dane, Mike Rozier, Craig Ironhead Hayward, to name just a few. And this guy had more yards rushing in high school than any of them.
Well, he hits it up in there hard, and really is a major reason why this offense goes, because you must account for where he is on the football field.
Coach Franklin said he was very uncomfortable in this new offense early on, but he's gotten more comfortable as the season's gone along. Also had the problem with fumbles during his career. No such problem tonight. 3rd down and 1. The fade, back corner of the end zone, out of bounds. Intended for Smokey Hampton. And a decision now for Larry Blakeney on 4th down and 1. And here comes the field goal team.
I'm surprised they're going for the field goal here. They've had great success pounding the football when they wanted to, and Rice's defense is sucking air down there. We saw Todd Graham earlier. We had our camera on him. He was not very pleased with the effort.
There's Greg Wibbs. He's actually a better kicker as a freshman than he's been as a sophomore, now a junior. He's 9 out of 17 this year, as you saw. 25-yard field goal from the angle, and it is good. I think Coach Blakeney went for it to get to that 21-point lead. 3 full touchdowns ahead now with 3.5 to go in the third quarter. Wibbs from Pensacola, Florida, worked in the Florida State Attorney for the First Judicial Circuit office as an intern over the summer. Bob Knight, 1 win away from tying Dean Smith as college basketball's winningest all-time coach. 2 from the record all by himself. The next 3 games on ESPN2. Next ball game in Lubbock against Bucknell, December 23rd, 4:30 Eastern Time. That is tomorrow afternoon.
It's an amazing accomplishment when it does happen, and I'm sure Coach Knight would be the first to thank a lot of people that helped him get to that goal. Just an amazing accomplishment.
Well, it says the record doesn't mean anything to him. We'd like to challenge him maybe to a lie detector test on that one. We could each put up a little money for charity based on the result of that.
Well, I think it means something to him in the sense that, you know, he's had a lot of people along the way that has made that possible for him. And basketball is a team game, and individual accomplishments are impossible without the help from others.
Wibbs kickoff into the end zone. So Rice will start at the 20. Here's Rob Stone.
Well, guys, Elbert Mack with the interception the last time Troy defense was out there made even more remarkable, playing with a heavy heart. His father, James, passed away after a lengthy kidney illness. Elbert arrived here in New Orleans late Tuesday night. Players telling us yesterday that he seemed like he was starting to get back in good spirits with some joking and some laughing at yesterday's practice. On his wrist, he wrote underneath all those wristbands, "I know you're watching me."
So I'm right there, point to the sky. That's how he honors his father, by making a big play for him.
Troy brings pressure, and the pass incomplete. Leotis McKelvin put the big hit on Jared Dillard.
You know, I've been impressed with a lot of the Troy defenders, the Troy team as a whole, but watch the break on the football. Quick break, and talking about not stopping on contact, not running to, but running through. And Leotis has done that all night.
And this is one of the hardest hitting defenses we've seen all season long, these Troy Trojans.
Yeah, Leotis, my man.
Dillard the catch, his first catch of the second half, goes for 9. The defensive coordinator, Troy, is Jeremy Rowell in his 10th year on the staff. He was a quarterback. Matter of fact, he was in Larry Blakeney's first recruiting class at Troy back in December of 1990. Larry had just gotten the job after an assistantship at Auburn. Jeremy Rowell signed as an incoming recruit, was the starting quarterback in the mid-90s on a couple of 1AA playoff teams. One of the best quarterbacks in Troy history, now coordinating the defense. He was co-coordinator until a couple of weeks ago. Mike Pelton left to join Gene Chiswick's new staff at Iowa State, but Rowell had always been the guy calling the defenses. Torrin Dixon the catch, and Rice converts on 3rd down and short.
I asked Jeremy, I said, Jeremy, how'd you leave the dark side, man? You came over to the light on the defensive side. And actually, I'm surprised, Sean, that a lot of other offensive people or quarterbacks that know defenses don't make that transition to the good guys coaching the defense. Jeremy's done an excellent job.
He said his biggest disappointment this year with the defense is they've given up big plays. That has not been a problem tonight. They only had 4 starters back on defense from last year. Teams tried a lot of trick plays against that young and eager defense that tended to over-pursue from time to time and make them vulnerable to the tricks. Romanique Lewis, the tackle this time for Troy on Quentin Smith, a gain of 8 for Rice. Rice needs to get it moving quickly. Under 2 minutes to go, 3rd quarter, down by 21.
You see Jeremy right there. He's down there with the troops. Tell you, one other thing when you got guys playing hard, Frank the Tank came down on that check down pass and helped on the tackle. Frank the Tank is playing. 74 right here, Frank the Tank.
Armstrong, desired looking play, and Sean Todd drops him. Defensive end from Crestview, Florida. No gain on the play.
That was set up, and Sean Todd coming down, pursuing down the line of scrimmage. But I just talked about Frank the Tank, and Frank the Tank helped Sean Todd because Frank the Tank is getting penetration, knocking the guards into the backfield.
Hey, as Frank says, every time somebody makes a play that defense, it's his eyes set it up for him.
He's right. He's pretty accurate about that tonight.
3rd down and 2. Rice. Armstrong in trouble, lost the football. And the Owls got it back, but it's a loss of a couple on the play, and it's also 4th down. Looks like Sean Todd might have knocked it out. Rice was the team that came into this ball game plus 12 for the season in turnover margin. That was 7th best in the nation. One of the reasons they've been so successful. Troy was -9.
That's amazing that they're -9 and have a 7-5 record. Common opponent they played, Florida State. Florida State beat Rice 55-7 and beat Troy 24-17.
And Troy was in that game all the way to the end, actually led for quite a while. Jared Scruggs will punt to Leotis McKelvin. Might not get it off before the end of the quarter. He did not. So Rice is 3 touchdowns down as we go to the 4th quarter. The R&L Carriers New Orleans Bowl from the Louisiana Superdome, the 4th quarter after this. This game is being broadcast in high definition on ESPN2 HD, presented by Pioneer Plasma Displays. Back at the Louisiana Superdome, has hosted 6 Super Bowls, 4 Final Fours. This is the 6th New Orleans Bowl, this year's edition, sponsored by R&L Carriers. 42-year-old company with about 10,000 employees. On 4th and 3. Scruggs just did get the punt off, and Leotis McKelvin the fair catch near the 30-yard punt. Franklin Lloyd, Frank the Tank. So, geez, I got my fingertips on it.
I'm telling you, he has a burst off the ball. And how many defensive tackles do you see to get penetration like that on a punt block? Look at this. Nice little move right there to avoid contact. I'll give it to you, Tank. I think you got a little fingernail on there. Great kid.
Excited about, yeah, we had a pleasure to talk to him yesterday. He's a funny young man. He was giving it to his teammates with great humor, and they were giving it right back to him. He's going to graduate with a degree in information systems in the spring. Troy trying to run some time off the clock now. Anthony Jones in for Kenny Cattouse. Tackled by William Wood. Yeah, Franklin wanted to make sure everybody knew on that sideline, hey, I got a piece of that punt.
Will Garner, the new defensive line coach, giving him a little love.
See how well liked he is just with those smiles on everybody's faces as he was coming over the sideline. 2nd and 8. Hoggabook threw it short to Cornelius Williams, and he got taken down at the 38. First catch of the day for the true freshman from Hoover, Alabama. Played in that outstanding high school program, one of the best in the country. A program that learned their spread offense they've used so successfully, in part from Coach Tony Franklin. Hoggabook, excuse me, having problems with the cramping again that has plagued them throughout the year.
You know, Sean, we were taking a walk this morning, you, Rob, and I, and even though it's December and it's not overly hot down here, it's still the humidity, and you can see it tonight. And then Omar, as Rob reported, had 2 IVs at halftime. Apparently he sweated those out.
And warm and humid in this area and in the building tonight. A lot of rain here over a 24-hour span. Yesterday and 2 days ago, more than 7 inches of rain fell in much of the New Orleans area.
You see right away it goes down, and you can see the tightness in his calf. Muscular young man like that has tightness in the calf. He knows right away.
He'll likely have to come out of the game here. Julian Foster is their backup. Been the starter in the past. And the new offense lost his starting position to Hagabook. Omar saying, give me a minute, I'll be all right.
Yeah. Harris has only got to come out for one play.
So they've tried all sorts of different things this year to help him with that cramping problem, but it continues to pop up.
Not pleased.
It will not be Foster. Instead, they're going to go to the freshman quarterback. Third on their depth chart, Jonathan Chandler. Opelika, Alabama. Third down and 4. 5 receivers for the newcomer Chandler. He's trying to run. Oh, they didn't get the play off. If they did, it was by a fraction of a second. Marcus Ruckus, the tackle. Andre Downs nearby as well. Downs pointing up at the play clock.
Yeah, they missed it. See right here, 3 seconds when we have it on the clock. 2, 1.
Well, they didn't get it off, but they got away with it. Doesn't matter anyway. Rice stopped them. Forcing a Jason Wright punt.
I think they're bringing everybody in, coming after it.
Whistles and flags. They were coming after it.
Yeah. Jason Wright was going to do the old rugby punt, kind of roll away from the pressure.
Snap. False start. Number 20 on the offense. 5-yard penalty. Remains 4th down.
I'd say that's too bad that they had a false start, Sean, because they had a little breakthrough there. See if the decision to still come after it is made.
And a Troy program with a lot of milestones throughout its interesting history. NAIA national champions in 1968, moved up to Division II. They were power in D2 in the 80s. Won 2 Division II national championships in 84 and 87. Chan Gailey was their coach in 84, his second of 2 years when they won the D2 title. Right punt muffed by King, who fell on it at the 20-yard line. Now looking for their first bowl victory in Division 1A. Can Jarrett Dillard get it started and get Rice back in the game? We'll find out after this.
A few weeks ago at the Home Depot Awards, I'm walking down the hallway talking to some guy, seems pretty big, and I know he's a football player. He's like, hey man, met him, I'm Jarrett Dillard, I go to Rice. He's like, hey, you had a pretty good year. Well, after talking to him for a while, he said his name is Troy. I'm like, oh, okay, well, nice meeting you. Walk into the room, turn on ESPN, see a big article about can Troy Smith play in the NFL. I'm like, I just met that guy, Didn't recognize I was Troy Smith until I walk in the room, I see him on television.
That's because he's in there studying, like a lot of those Rice kids with the doubles and triple majors.
Well, Jarrett Dillard, an outstanding student, he said he thought about double or triple majors, but one at Rice was tough enough. He's equipped to handle. He graduated #1 in his high school class at Sam Houston in San Antonio, Texas.
By the
way,
way,
also started as a basketball player. Nearly went to Colgate to play basketball. Seems like he made the right decision to come to Rice. Pass looked like it was deflected. Armstrong to Quentin Smith. He still was able to haul it in. There's a flag down. Gain of 5 if it stays. Marcus Pittman, the tackle.
We're starting to see some holding calls. We've kind of seen them all night on the Rice offense. That's due to they're getting tired and they're holding on and they're losing their technique. And a lot of these techniques are new to these guys coming from the option offense or the running offense.
Half the distance to the goal. Remains 1st down.
From last year.
One of the many accomplishments of Jarrett Dillard this season, he's had a touchdown catch in every game, all 12 and 14 in a row going back to the last 2 of last year. The NCAA record in Division 1A, consecutive games with a TD catch, Larry Fitzgerald, to whom Dillard's been compared by Coach Graham, 18 in a row. Dillard had 20 touchdown receptions in all this year to lead the nation, 5 more than anybody else. Rayna McKnight of Notre Dame is second. The previous Rice record for touchdown catches in a season was 9, and he had 20. Dillard has his 7th catch of the night. He hasn't been in the end zone yet. He's near a first down, near the original marker at the 19. Here's Rob Stone.
Well, Sean, Rice was Dillard's sole Division I football scholarship offer. One reason he was kind of overlooked is because, as you mentioned, basketball was really his first and true passion. Dillard spent much of his summers playing AAU hoops, so he attended very few football camps, as you mentioned. He would have gone to Colgate University had they offered him a full ride. Imagine, he could have been working the fast break in lovely Hamilton, New York right now, rather than playing a bowl game in New Orleans. Yeah, yes, I know a little bit about Colgate.
Yeah, I knew Stoner would find a way to get the Colgate plug in for his alma mater. Armstrong throws it up for grabs, and it is intercepted. Flagged down, however. Albert Mack, it's his 2nd of the night if that one stands.
Well, I think it's going to be on Dillard, who tried to turn in a defensive back, and Albert Mack not being denied for a 2nd pick.
Rice plus 12 in the regular season in turnovers, an excellent mark. They're about to be -3 tonight with their 4th turnover. All of them interceptions from Armstrong if it does go against Rice, and Kenny Maynard of Troy indicating it is against the Owls. And Mack just days after losing his dad with his 2nd interception of the game.
Offense, number 81. Penalties decline.
And the first one, Chris, was one of the biggest plays of the night. Rice, a 12-play drive. It looked like they were about to score to get right back into the ball game, and Mack had the interception in the end zone.
Well, yeah, this time he beats Jared Dillard back to the ball, and Jared does a good job of trying to turn in to the defensive back, but he arm hooked him. Again, arm hooked him, and I'll tell you, the pressure from Troy is just starting to mount because they know that Rice has to throw the ball. Those boys are getting fresh blood in their veins, and they're coming after Armstrong, and the Rice offensive line can't keep him away.
Troy takes over with outstanding field position. The Rice 37. Hoggabook looked like he was going to go for the bundle. Instead, checked it down to Anthony Jones, and he gets plenty. Out of bounds at the 18-yard line, perhaps even the 17. Chad Price ran him out. 19 yards on the game to the backup running back, sophomore from Pensacola, Florida, Anthony Jones.
Yeah, and Omar had a choice. I can dump it to my running back, or I can take off and get 20. But with the cramping problem, he just dumps it to Anthony, and Anthony at the end makes the decision. I will not be the hittee, I will be the hitter. Just kind of threw Price out of the way.
Little lob for Jones again, dropped. He had a touchdown if he held on. He was the hitter. This time he was the dropper.
Well, he had Brian Raines in one-on-one coverage, and he just outran Brian. Brian has been all over the field tonight, and it's tough duty. But you can't look back at the quarterback. As soon as you start looking back, Anthony Jones pulls away. And a nice touch again by Omar, who's had a number of drops tonight.
Matus back into the ball game for Jones, and he runs for 11 and a first down. Chad Price made the tackle. 1st and goal, Troy inside the 10-yard line.
This is getting frustrating, and you can see the fatigue setting in on the Rice defense, especially the front 7. They're trying, but they don't have a lot of energy left, and Troy's just kind of driving the stake and pounding it.
An adjustment all year long to the new defense. Rice gave up 32 points per game for the year, but played better at the end. Paul Randolph, the coordinator, said they played their 2 best games the last 2. They adjusted to the 3-3-5. Brian Raines told us yesterday it wasn't really till recently that they started to feel comfortable in this defense. I'm still learning different aspects of it every day in practice. They're about inches short. Looked like he was comfortably across that yellow line, but they moved the ball back about a yard. So instead of 1st and goal, it'll be 3rd down and inches.
Well, and they'll start recruiting a little bit different type of defensive linemen for the 3-3-5. They'll get bigger guys in there to be space eaters.
Brian Raines says he likes it because with that 3-3-5 alignment, you can get 8 men up from the box easily against the run. You can get 8 men back against the pass. Cordy Gordon, the defensive lineman, said he didn't like it. A lot of times he says 3 of us up there against 5 trying to slug it out. And he's learned to like it as He's had the best season of his career in that alignment. Hoggebuk pulls it down and slips. It looked like he had the first down with ease. Goes down a yard short. We go under 10 minutes to play here in the fourth quarter. Troy, I think this is definitely a field goal situation now. Chance to get ahead by 24. Here comes Wibbs.
Well, I'll tell you, had Anthony Jones on a swing route again. They came back because they had Raines matched up one-on-one. The problem was that Omar came off of it a little bit quick and decided to tuck and run. If he would have hung in there a little bit longer, he would have gave Anthony Jones a shot at redemption.
Wibbs, not the same angle he made the 25-yarder in the third quarter, going the opposite direction. It's a 26-yarder. And it's good again. Wibbs has had a very good night, as have the Trojans from Troy University and Troy, Alabama, the co-champions of the Sun Belt, leading Rice 34-10 at the R&L Carriers New Orleans Bowl. Sean McDonough with Chris Spielman and Rob Stone back at the R&L Carriers New Orleans Bowl. 9:16 to play. Troy leads 34-10. Greg Wibbs will kick off after his 26-yard field goal gave the Trojans a 24-point lead. Mike Falco back deepest for Rice. Wibbs got plenty of leg into that one. Muffed forward and picked up by Andre Downs. And that kind of a night for Rice. He's out to just the 12-yard line. We look at tonight's storyline brought to you by Kay Jewelers. Troy had scored 23 points in the first quarter all year in 12 regular season games. They had 21 here tonight. Rice had thrown 9 interceptions all season long in 12 games. They've thrown 4 here tonight, leading to 13 Trojan points. And you'd have to think Omar Hoggebuk with those 184 passing yards and 92 rushing yards is the leading candidate to be the game MVP.
Yeah, and you look at those passing yards, Sean, he's been victimized by about 4 drops that could have had probably 60 or 70 yards to that total number. I mean, legitimate drops.
And spotter Toby Louie indicating he thinks it should be Albert Mack and Leotis McKelvin for the job they've done on Jared Dillard. Pass incomplete, intended for Corbin Smiter.
Well, they've done it. Toby knows his DBs, and they've done it. They've done a great job. They've been physical. They've taken away. They play with great position. They play patient. They stay in their back pedal. Both guys have been outstanding.
2nd and 10.
You just see the intensity in their eyes when they line up to cover man-to-man.
Armstrong dumps it over the middle for Clinton Smith. So he'll be happy to concede that. A flag thrown in where you'd expect a face mask. Actually 3 flags now on the field. Well officiated game by this Big East crew. 10-yard gain and perhaps some more tacked on to the end.
Yeah, Marcus Richardson, I think, came in.
Personal foul, face mask, 26 on the defense, 15-yard penalty from the end of the run, first down.
Marcus Richardson has the reputation of being very vocal on the field, a bit of a trash talker, but he does it in a classy way. When we asked him yesterday, you know, what his approach might be tonight, he said, well, I'm going to go after number 81. He's their best player, see if I can get him out of his game. He said, I don't say anything about anybody's mother. No. Said, unless they say something about my mama, then I come after theirs. But as long as the other guy keeps it clean, I keep it clean.
Yeah, I think he does try to play the intimidation card, and he's a good football player. And I would tell Marcus that you don't really need to do that, because at this level, I don't think anybody gets intimidated.
Grew up in Pensacola playing Little League football and baseball with Brandon Condren, and I was teammate at Troy. They went to rival high schools. Richardson remembered the score of the 2 head-to-head meetings. His high school, Pensacola High, won both. McKelvin makes the tackle on this play, and let's learn more about Marcus.
I like to ride motorcycles. It helps me out a lot on the field, builds my awareness. Yesterday was my pop's birthday. Happy birthday, Pop. You know, winning this game, I think, would be a really good gift I could give him, because he is a Troy alumni.
It would be a nice gift. Marcus very eloquent yesterday about the Troy team visit the Children's Hospital here. Armstrong avoids the sack as Todd was right at his feet and throws it up for grabs, and it should have been caught. I think Corbin Smiter was surprised that made it all the way through to him, and it hit him right in the number 80, and he dropped it.
And Corbin dropped it. Luke Falco thought it was for him. He dropped it. It's just tough. And again, when you have the ability to get pressure with just 4, it's tough. Coach says, throw it to me. I'm open. I'm open. But the problem is Armstrong's been running for his life. He doesn't have time to find him.
3rd and 6. Rice at their own 42. Time running out on the Owls. Under 8 minutes to go. Down by 24. Quick hitter to Dillard. A hard-earned couple of extra yards after the catch. Also took a pot from Marcus Richardson. 8 yards on the gain. 1st down. Dillard might be coming out of the ball game here. At least it appears he gestured that he wanted to come out. He's going to stay on. Streak in serious jeopardy.
He's cramping too, Sean.
Yep.
See, anytime you go to that, he's cramping. I was watching him. He's grabbing the back of his hamstrings right there.
Warm and humid. Teams haven't played in a while. Armstrong runs to the 43. Rice moving the ball, but they're also chewing up a lot of time. Marcus Pittman made the tackle. Now Dillard will go off.
Yeah, watch Jared come off the ball. You can tell he's cramping, Sean. Take a look. See, he's not exactly exploding off the ball. You can see the muscles just locking up on him. He's trying to get something done, but it's tough to do it when you can't bend your knees.
Under 7 minutes to go. 34-10 Troy. Their first ever bowl victory. There'd been only one other bowl game. Armstrong showing his speed. Chased out at the 24 or the 26-yard line. The only other bowl game they played in was the Silicon Valley game in 2004 out in San Jose, and Troy lost to Northern Illinois.
Garrett Wolf was in that ball game for Northern Illinois.
In fact, he had a big play in that game after Troy had taken the early lead. 18-yard gain for Armstrong. First and 10 Rice. They mark the ball at the Troy 25. Falco to the 17-yard line. That bowl game for Larry Blakeney, the first ever for Troy, December 30th, 2004. Troy had a quick 14-0 lead. The quarterback D.T. McDowell and Jermaine Richardson combining on that score, but Garrett Wolf helped turn the game around for the Huskies. His 50-yard run got them on the board. They went on to win for Coach Joe Novak, and it was delayed by a power outage. See, the field was wet, a lot of rain and lightning in the area. Affected part of the stadium lighting and our ESPN trucks. Play clock expires with 6 minutes to go.
Play game. We're 13 on the offense. 5-yard penalty. Remains second down.
And this type of offense, I put that on the coaching staff. If they're sitting there trying to change a play, and they keep having to look over there, sometimes you got to make a decision and go.
They're going no huddle, but it's not particularly fast no huddle, which is apparent when you get a delay of game penalty. They're still working on Dillard's legs. Well, these are the things Rice has not done this year. 6 penalties now, 4 turnovers. They were the least penalized team this year in Conference USA. And as we mentioned, one of the best in the country in turnover margin. Neither's been true tonight.
See Sean Todd doing his best ML Carr impression, waving the towel down there for Troy, getting him excited. That's right. I know my Boston Celtic history, Sean.
And God love you for it. 2nd and 7. Quinn Smith, the running back. Then as a brother who's a senior in high school, Tyler's being recruited by big-time colleges.
That's it.
Torrin Dixon, great effort after the catch, chugging for additional yardage. The true freshman from just up the road in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, gives Rice a first down on a gain of 12.
I love the fact that Torrin Dixon recognizes his size at 6'3", 220. Didn't duck out of bounds like a lot of receivers. Tried to run somebody over. Good job, Torrin.
Good looking trophy. 6th edition of the New Orleans Bowl, this year sponsored by R&L Carriers. It's possible the Sun Belt champion will win for just the 2nd time in 6 tries in this game. Looking very likely now. And the play clock all the way down to 8. These Rice guys are smart. Somebody needs to tell them you need to go a little faster when you're down by 24 points. Dixon tackled by Elbert Mack inside the 5-yard line. Dillard back on the field and in position now to get the touchdown. You'd think with the game likely out of reach, the least they could do is try diligently here to get Dillard that touchdown reception to extend the streak. Give him a chance at history early next year.
Let's see if he can come off the ball. He's right here. See if he has the ability to come off the ball and make something happen, or is he kind of limping off the ball? We got him matched up with a linebacker.
14 straight games with a touchdown reception for Dillard. None tonight. Armstrong looking in his direction. Now just trying to survive. Then he runs out of bounds. Throw it away. He took a loss on the play back to the 6. Brandon Lang chased him out.
And I saw Jared Dillard try to run, and again he's running very stiff, but he was pointing up to the sky to his buddy Joe Armstrong, saying throw it high. I'll go for it. See right there, trouble moving around.
And he wanted it high in the back of that end zone.
Yep.
I don't know if he would have quite the 43 to 46 inch vertical with those sore legs. 3rd down and goal. Ball marked at the 5. Joel Armstrong zips one down to the goal line. Smiter, the ball comes out, but his forward progress had been stopped and the whistles blow. Marked down at the 1. So it'll be 4th and goal, and they have to go for it. Brandon Condren kept Smiter out of the end zone.
Smiter did a good job of trying to fight his way in there, but the effort of the Troy defense, hunting heads, as Brandon Condren told us in our meeting yesterday, they all do it. Run into the ball.
Graham calls timeout. 5:03 to score. They absolutely must get into the end zone on 4th down. Back in the city of New Orleans, the New Orleans Bowl, sponsored by R&L Carriers this year. Crowd of just under 25,000 inside the Louisiana Superdome. 4th and goal for Rice.
Jared Dillard lined up in the backfield. Here he goes right here. Last chance to keep that streak alive.
Armstrong lofts it up for Dillard, and he has it. Touchdown, Jared Dillard, 15 games in a row with a touchdown reception. And the 2nd longest such streak in college football history is still alive. Now within 3 of Larry Fitzgerald. And Dillard will have a chance to go after that record early next year. It looked like he was very close to being out of bounds, but he got up in the air and got down inbounds.
That's a great throw by Joel Armstrong, throwing it up high, letting Dillard use his great vertical, beating Elbert. Really the first bad coverage by Elbert Mack this evening, and Jared got a nice escort.
Why are they going for 2? When you're 24 points down, you need 3/8. You get 7. So now you get 2 touchdowns and 2-point conversions. You still can't tie the game.
Absolutely.
Clark Fangmeyer kicked the extra point. I don't understand that at all. What do you think? You get the ball back 3 more times with 5 minutes to go, or are you just conceding the game?
No, I don't think you're conceding the game. I just think you have to go for 2, or you're going to try an onside kick here and count on getting it back, since they didn't execute an onside kick earlier, failed to convert the onside kick, although they had an excellent opportunity.
Well, Todd Graham's done a great job, but that's just a mistake. He needed to try to get within 2 scores. They had the chance and didn't do it. His former team, Tulsa, where he was the defensive coordinator last year, will take on Utah. That's the Bell Helicopter Armed Forces Bowl from Fort Worth tomorrow night, 8 Eastern time on ESPN, ESPN HD, and ESPN Radio. Todd Graham helped turn that Tulsa program around. They're playing in a bowl game for the 2nd year in a row for the first time since the mid-60s. Steve Cragthorpe's done a great job there. Everywhere Graham goes, it's part of a huge turnaround. At West Virginia with Rich Rodriguez, they did it. At Tulsa, they did it. And this year at Rice, second biggest turnaround from last year in the country. Only Wake Forest had a bigger turnaround. Onside kick, but there's flags down. The kicker, Luke Juiced, got it, but it looked like it might have struck Rice before the ball went 10 yards.
Regardless of where the penalty is, that's an excellent kick by the kicker to get it go 10 yards, and Luke actually recovered the ball. Anxious to see what the flag is, unless it did strike a Rice player. It's the old touch kick.
If they were offside, perhaps, the only other thing I can think of.
Fouls on the kicking team. Number 31 on the kicking team. Blocked before they were allowed to. Penalty was assessed from the 35-yard line, 5 yards, and re-kick.
In other words, he blocked before the ball went 10 yards. So they're throwing blocks right now, and the ball has not gone 10 yards, and you're not allowed to deliver a block until the ball crosses the 10-yard plane. They're very reminiscent of the Bills-Oilers game, the great comeback where Steve Christie actually recovered his own onside kick to get the Bills back into it.
Juiced is a big guy, 6'1", 210. His brother Norby plays at the University of Houston. They're in-city rivals. Matter of fact, it was a tough start to the season, but Rice, they led Houston by 16 points in the 4th quarter and lost by a point.
Well, he's a big guy, but safe to say he's not on the Juiced. Thank you.
He is not juiced.
Here comes again. Try the high hopper.
Oh, ball still loose. And the Trojans recover. Josh Pruitt on the hands team. The recovery.
And Chris Lucas took one for the team right there. I mean, you're exposed on that onside kick, and number 87, Chris Lucas, went up to get it and just totally exposed, took a shot, but tipped it over to Pruitt, who Pruitt was able to recover.
So now Troy trying to run some time. Margaret looks like he's still affected by the cramps, stiff-leggedly walking into the shotgun formation. A long time between bowl games, but this is going to actually be 4 straight bowl losses for Rice, barring a miracle now. There's Anthony Jones, an excellent student at Troy, 3.25 GPA for the sophomore. Andrew Sendejo made the tackle, but it's 17 yards on the run. The last win for Rice in a bowl game, January 1st, 1954, one of the most celebrated plays in college football history. Dickie Magel of Rice was running for a touchdown as he approached midfield. Alabama's Tommy Lewis jumped off the sideline and tackled Dickie Magel. Rice was awarded the touchdown.
I love this. Right here. He does a good job of closing the game in front of the ball back in the 50s.
Past midfield.
Look at that, cutting the legs out.
Yep.
You know what?
They had a chance to get him 33 at the angle there, but Tommy Lewis just got very frustrated.
I understand.
Wasn't going that way for the Crimson Tide. Rice went on to win the game 28-6. You thought about it.
I was close. I've been tempted, believe me. I'm surprised more guys haven't done it.
Jones dropped by Andre Downs. 3.5 minutes to go. Loss on the play. Rice finished that season 9-2, ranked 6th in the final polls. I mentioned back in the 40s and 50s, a lot of success in Southwest Conference under Jess Neely. Todd Graham was a believer. He grew up in Texas, coached high school football in Allen in the Dallas area. And he knew he was getting great kids with great character, great work ethic at a school like Rice. Just a matter of making them believe. And they've had a terrific year. It's going to end in disappointing fashion.
It's all about recruiting. If he can get this type of athletes that he got last year, he has a chance to turn this program around permanently.
I mean, they believe they have a great recruiting class coming. Todd Graham told us yesterday of 19 commitments. And Larry Blakeney said it's important to us as well. The exposure on ESPN, and when you get in a bowl game, as they have for the second time in the history of the Troy program, and win a bowl game, it gives you a lift. We talked a lot about Rice's remarkable turnaround this season, but it's a Troy team that was 4-7 last year. The third time in a row, third year in a row, they were 100th or worse in offense. They made a big change, blew up the offensive staff, changed from a power team to the spread team. You got to give Coach Blakeney a lot of credit.
Yeah, you give Coach Blakeney, and he went out and hired Tony Franklin to come in and run the offense. And I talk about recruiting all the time because I believe, Sean, that's the key. And when you have these type of offenses, then guess what? You can go out and get the big-time wide receivers. You can go out and get the big-time quarterbacks. And you can say, hey, guys, you want to throw it? Just like he got Omar. He called, hey, you want to come here and throw for 4,000 yards? Come to Troy. I'll make you a star.
Well, Tony Franklin is an interesting story. First year at Troy, he had been out of college coaching for 6 years. He was on the Kentucky staff in the late 90s and the offensive coordinator of Kentucky in 2000 under Hal Mumme. Of course, Kentucky hit by NCAA sanctions. A lot of ugliness there. Some had pointed the finger at Tony Franklin, saying he was a rat. He blew the whistle on the problems in the program of the NCAA. He was so vehement in defending himself against that, he wrote a book called 4th Down and Lifetime to Go, refuting the allegations. He said, I never
delay a game.
ratted out our program to the media, to the fans. And a matter of fact, he brought a legal action against the University of Kentucky, and as part of the settlement, he asked that Kentucky write a letter to every major college football program in the country saying that he was not basically a rat. He did not provide information that way, because in this business, it's bad to cheat. It's as bad, in the opinion of many, to be a rat.
Yeah.
Andrew Davis. Walk-on. Pretty good walk-on down to the 5-yard line.
Yeah, Tony Franklin actually brought him in. Tony had a consulting business with high schools about offensive football, and he saw Andrew Davis and convinced Andrew to come to Troy and walk on. And, you know, his ability to find the type of talent that he wants in his offense is evident right there when you get a good player like that to come in and walk on.
During the time he was basically exiled from college football, he ran clinics teaching the spread offense to high school coaches and teams. You have seminars in the summer, as many as 120 high school programs, including Pelham, Alabama, where Andrew Davis played. For a while, Tony Franklin was coach and GM of an indoor football team in Lexington, Kentucky, and finally Larry Blakeney gave him a chance to return to college football after 6 years away, and it's been a marriage that's worked very well for all concerned. Hoggabook, low throw, but it is caught for a touchdown by Taurus Rutledge. 4th touchdown pass of the night for Hoggabook. This one to the senior from Reddick, Florida.
That's a poor pass. First really bad ball that Omar's thrown besides the interception. And Taurus Rutledge makes amends because he had an earlier drop. Watch this when he overstrides a little bit and throws that a little too low, but great job of going down, bending the knees, and with the scoop and the kiss.
Wibbs to add the extra point. And it's 41-17 Troy. I'd say the new spread offense has worked pretty well tonight. The end of its first year. And the Capital One players of the game, Hoggabook, 217 yards passing now, and 4 touchdowns, even though he's still clearly bothered by the cramps. He has a rushing touchdown and 92 yards rushing as well. He's their leading ball carrier tonight. And Albert Magg, this days after losing his dad, 2 interceptions. on an emotional night for the Troy defensive back.
I've been around players over my career, Sean, that have lost a loved one, and it's amazing the strength that they find and the focus, and it usually comes from wanting to honor their parent by what they do best. And Elbert certainly has came out and honored his late father with the 2 picks and just overall playing a great overall field game. An outstanding job by Elbert.
So they will enjoy New Orleans tonight. Make the 4.5 to 5 hour trip back to Troy, Alabama.
Well, they're filling up. They're getting ready for the big dump.
Wibbs the kickoff. Falco the return. Mike Falco stuffed near the 15-yard line by Trinity Thomas.
They are one of the surprise NFL stories of 2006. Chad Pennington and the New York Jets still in the AFC playoff chase. They visit Jason Taylor and the Miami Dolphins on Christmas night at 8:30 Eastern on ESPN's Monday Night Football.
Well, they're getting the Gatorade bucket ready. Mentioned the long tenure, 16th year for Larry Blakeney. Division II to 1 AA, 1A, and now another milestone. Troy's first bowl victory at the highest level of college football. And a nice team coming back next year. Armstrong taken down again by Frank the Tank. And here comes the bucket. Well, the 59-year-old head coach, grandfather, they're going to get Coach Franklin.
Wow.
They want to get the offensive coordinator first. What a great feeling that must be for him with everything that he's been through.
Yeah, I do think, Sean, just his perseverance and able to come back and really install an offense here and make it work just in a short period of time is a testament to his ability as a coach.
Quentin Smith, it'll be a disappointing end to his Rice career. He has perhaps a chance at an NFL future. They got Coach Blakeney yet.
Yeah, he's got the troopers by him though. Yeah, look at him. When you think about that job opening down in Alabama, and a guy that's been successful in that state has certainly been Larry. The only problem is he played at Auburn.
Yeah, and coached there for 14 years. Armstrong's pass intercepted, the 5th of the night for the Troy defense. This one by Chris Bowens.
Nice one-hander too.
Freshman, true freshman from Columbus, Georgia, with his first career interception. And it's going to be the last play of the game. Congratulations to the Troy Trojans. They win their first bowl game ever. They post just the 2nd victory for the Sun Belt in 6 attempts here at the New Orleans Bowl. And a fine first season for Todd Graham will end for Rice at 7-6. The Trojans finish the year 8-5. Final score, Troy 41, Rice 17. Quite frankly, with Stephen A. Smith is coming up next right here on ESPN2. Now for Chris Spielman, Rob Stone, and our entire ESPN2 crew, led by our producer Bart Fox, our director Bob Frederoli, Sean McDonough saying good night and happy holidays from New Orleans. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports.